All right, drivers, look like we got a crash. Right shoulder blocked, 24 eastbound near the Antioch Pike overpass. Also on 24 eastbound at I-40 near the Eastern Split. Metro Police reporting that one. Metro Police say got a crash on the South Loop, too. 40 westbound right there at 2nd Avenue. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. How are y'all?
What's going on, Brother Murphy?
I don't understand why we can't all just get along. I mean, I don't understand why there has to be so much yelling and meanness and anger in the world.
Especially yelling.
I mean, thankfully, from 3 to 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, you get a respite from all of that.
Just a little moment of zen.
Let's just all calm down. Let's just take a beat, everybody, and just settle in.
Maybe we need a little.
I like that. That's good. Hello, and welcome to your Murphy moment of zen with Ken Weaver, Chris Weber, and Matt Murphy. How are you? You good? I'm good. Where's Mr. Rogers when you need him? You know? It's so good to see you. That's exactly right. Good Lord. What the hell's happening?
It's a hell of a news day, man.
You think? You think?
I gotta tell you, boys, in my more than 40 years experience in this business, I never expected to cover some of the things that I'm covering as a radio news anchor.
I mean, it's like the start of a great joke, right? Is that, the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world walk into a bar.
Mm.
And they're both carrying with them their own social media platforms. and then this happens. As I said, no good is going to come from this. And I posted that before the Epstein fart in the car, and then there you go. A lot of people want to Steve said somebody needs to resurrect Bob Ross. It's happy little trees. That's what we should do. We should talk about painting today. Toaster Talk with Matt Murphy.
Toaster Talk.
Hi. Toaster repair, VCR repair. That's what we do. We'll break it all down for you. Believe it or not, we will not exclusively talk about the rift between Elon and Donald Trump. That has it. I mean, that escalated quickly, did it not? I mean, does that not?
I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
You got that right.
It was rapid. It got up there real fast.
I mean, it's like what was the line from Anchorman? Well, that got out of hand fast. What was that? What's the weather guy's name? Brick.
Yeah. Brick Tamblin.
Brick killed a guy.
He had a trident.
I mean, all right. So let's just get this down to it. I have a theory, and I don't believe it, but I'm going to float it. Y'all ready?
All right.
That Elon and Donald are in cahoots together to make this as awful as possible so that they get the bill passed in the Senate. What do you think?
That's something.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for just go with me.
Yeah.
Let's just roll with it.
Who knows, man? I mean, they could be trolling everybody.
I don't know, man. I don't think you whip out the Epstein list.
No.
I would have bought it till the Epstein tweet, and then there's the Epstein tweet.
That's the one, and then the tweet after the Epstein tweet. where he says it's going to come out in the future.
Yeah, the truth will be out there at some point, and I'm certain that at some point it will. I have no doubt. I don't for one believe, just to clear the air here, I don't believe that there's any list outside of people and associations with Jeffrey Epstein over the years. I mean, this is burying the story that came out with the FBI yesterday that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, the heads of the FBI, one is the head and one is the assistant head, that they announced that they have reviewed the material and that Jeffrey Epstein did in fact kill himself. Which, who had that on your bingo card?
Yeah,
that Epstein killed him. Epstein killed himself. I posted about this last night with the confused John C. Reilly face. It's like, what? What's happening? Yeah, but that's apparently true. So we have an opportunity to talk about this. I would love to hear what you think about it without any influence from your humble host, Matt Murphy. I might need that soft music on occasion today. Just have that on the ready, would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Elon just put out another one.
Okay, let's hear it.
In light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately.
And the Dragon spacecraft was the one that was supposed to take us to Mars. Is that right?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
If Elon Musk ends his relationship with the federal government, I think that prevents us from going to the International Space Station anymore. I don't think NASA can get to the International Space Station anymore. I mean,
interesting.
I do believe that if our relationship with Elon Musk ended like today,
they may be up there.
NASA's screwed. I think
we'll have to rely on Russia to bring us home.
0288 says, I'm burned out and I'm just burning wood in the yard. Well, got that right. Trevor says Epstein's not dead. Okay, Trevor, whatever, man. Whatever. I'm down for it all.
While
let's
we're throwing
go.
out the theories.
I mean, let's just go. Epstein's around and Trump and Elon are laughing their asses off. They're in some room just off of the Oval Office and and they're in the same room and they're like, "Oh, you say this. Oh, Elon, you say this, and then I'll say that." Oh my God.
This is beautiful.
It's so good. It's just gorgeous. I absolutely love it. No, I don't think that's the way that any of this goes. So I don't even know if I want to break it down. I've got at 3:35. Let me just tell you what's going on in the show.
Okay, let's do that.
At 3:35, Lee Reeves is going to stop by via Zoom, and we're going to talk to Representative Reeves about the fact that we have precious few sheriffs taking the federal government up on their opportunity to develop a relationship between Immigration and Customs Enforcement and why that is. I don't understand why it is. I get why Nashville doesn't want to do it. I get why Knoxville doesn't want to do it. I get why Memphis doesn't want to do it. I get why these blue dots in the red state don't want to do it. I don't understand about the rest of the sheriffs. We will talk with Representative Reeves about that. Alice Rolley, former candidate for mayor for the Metro government, will be in studio with us in the 4 o'clock hour, and we will talk about the latest in Davidson County. She will answer any and all of your questions. And I just think it's fair to say that if Alice Rolley were our current mayor, that a lot of this crap that's going on in Davidson County wouldn't be going on. We will talk with Alice about that. In the meantime, we will talk with you about the big news. And the big news, I mean, look what I had on my list. Y'all want to see what I had on my list? Y'all want me to read the list, none of which we're going to deal with today? Let's read the list. Auto pen investigation. Biden responds. And I put, it's really simple, Joe. Do an interview to dispel the rumors. I had number 2, the travel ban. Donald Trump has a travel ban instituted, I think, 12 countries, total ban, 7 other countries, partial ban. I have another story about A.B. Hernandez in California. Wanted to get into this transgender story out of California, where this fella is participating with the ladies, and they're trying to serve two masters. They're trying to play two ends against the middle out there in California. That's a story that we will not talk about. Marsha Blackburn, senator from Tennessee, wants wants the state of Tennessee and really the United States of America to stop doxing our immigration and customs enforcement agents. Probably won't talk about that. We had a Supreme Court ruling or two come out earlier today. I've got the list. Y'all want to hear about them? No. Why? Elon, Trump. That's why. Oh, the USS Harvey Milk. I had that on my list. Harvey had some sort of warship, and they're renaming the warship because they decided that they didn't want a warship named after a pederast. Which is, I love that word. It is one of my favorite words, and you don't get to use it real often. Pederast. I know it kind of sounds like pederast. Y'all, I mean, we're not talking about, like, it's not pet, her. It's not three words. It's one word.
Yeah.
Pederast with a T on the end. And Harvey Milk, factually, was a pederast. And I don't think we should be naming warships after a pederast. I don't care that he's gay, but anyway. And we won't talk about that. And we might talk about the Afton Ben email that I received from a listener. So a listener that lives in Davidson County hit Afton Ben up and said, why are you doing this? Why are you supporting illegal aliens? Why are you not supporting immigration and customs enforcement? Why are you stymieing the efforts of our law enforcement agencies? And Afton actually responded to this person who is a constituent of hers, and the constituent sent me the email, and it is exactly what you would think it would be. It is a trust fund titty baby that doesn't know government from a hole in the ground, responding about crap that she has no idea what she's talking about. No idea what she's talking about. And Afton, love you long time, but you have zero. And look, this is the failure of the representative republic that is the United States of America, that dumb people like you who have never made a payroll, I would suggest, has Afton ever had a job? Has she ever had a job? I mean, it is time that we stop treating her with kid gloves because she's cute. She is a danger to Davidson County, and we're going to call her out on it. Maybe, a little bit later on in the show. Plus your telephone call, 615-737-9986. 9508 wants to know if I had coffee with the mayor this morning.
Yeah, did you?
That is a big negative. That is a no. As predicted by me, the mayor canceled on me. Now, I want y'all to understand something. We scheduled this, and I want to find it. I just want to make sure that I don't misrepresent anything that has gone down. It was May 22nd at 11:05 in the morning. That's a Thursday. I wrote on May 19th, we had the mayor on, and we talked to him about property taxes, and I yelled and screamed at him about that. And then all of this immigration and customs enforcement stuff went down. And so after about a week of that, I reached back out and said, hey, I understand there's a lot going on right now, and the mayor was just on, I'll read it to you. I understand, and this was to I think Alex is his chief of staff. I understand there's a lot going on right now, and the mayor was just on the show. Out of respect for that, I have not asked this earlier, but I'd like to formally offer him an opportunity to come on the show and fairly give his rationale in response to the THP ICE activity and his subsequent press conference. You guys know I will be straightforward and tough, but fair. And as always, I will give the mayor time to answer to his supporters and critics alike. That was my ask. The response, hey, Matt, always appreciate this offer. We are hanging in there. Let me check with him and his schedule to see if he has some time. He's got travel coming up, and it's a little tight this week and early next. That doesn't sound good. I said 10-4, thanks, Alex. And that was on the 19th. 3 days later on May 22nd, the mayor's people say, and this is, just out of the blue, hey, the mayor wants to grab a beer or coffee soon. What would be a good day to do that? Can you shoot me a couple that might work and we can get with our scheduling team? I said, sure. Any day next week, any day beyond Monday next week works after the show. I can be anywhere in town by 7:15 or 7:30. If you want to do early, I just need to be out by 2. Any day works. And he responded that same day, about an hour later. How's a coffee morning of June 5th? His evenings are more complicated to schedule. I said, coffee's great. Just let me know when and where. And then I responded yesterday, or day before yesterday now, at no, it was yesterday. Are we still on for coffee tomorrow or no? Alex did not respond to that. Someone else did. Someone else in their office responded saying that the mayor was not going to be able to make coffee. So he canceled on me after scheduling it himself. That's fine. I'm hopeful that one of these days we'll be able to have coffee with the mayor because I have two questions for the mayor. Two. And really, I would encourage you, if you have any relationship with any liberal or Democrat or leftist, socialist, whatever, anyone that seems to be sensitive to the plight of the illegal alien or the migrant or whatever the hell they want to call them. If you find yourself in this conversation, take a tip from Cousin Matt. This is where you start the conversation. Don't yell and scream at him. Don't say, send them all. Don't. Just ask. Start the conversation with these two very simple questions. Y'all ready? Number one, say, listen, I understand you're upset. I understand that you believe these people haven't done anything wrong. And I understand that, but they're before the grace of God go out, and they've been here for years, and they've had babies here. And, oh, my God, you're going to strip families away from their families. You're going to send them out. Just forget all of that. Let's forget all of that. Let me ask you one simple question. Should we have a set of rules to get into America? Yes or no? Should there be rules, a set of rules, to get into America? If the person that you're speaking with says no, if you ask them, should there be a set of rules, walk away from that conversation because you're talking to an absolute moron. You're talking to an absolute idiot. And I'm not using those words lightly. I mean that. If you ask someone, should we have a set of rules for people to legally get into the United States, and they say no, then you're talking to somebody that does not believe in this country. They don't believe in any country. You can't without borders. But if they say yes, that's a good thing because we're on common footing now. We're on common ground. Okay. You believe, without going into what those rules are. So you believe that there should be some rules as to how you come in. Tell me, what do you do to the people that break the rules? And if your answer is nothing, then why do you have the rules? It's that simple. So when you're dealing with your liberal friends, when you're out having drinks and all of this comes up and they want to talk about the emotional toil that this is putting on immigrant communities and all that garbage, just boil it down to where the goats can graze on it. Should there be rules? And what do you do with the people that break them? And I think you'll find some common ground with rational people. And you'll find probably a lot of insane people that say, no, we shouldn't have any rules. And those people are what we refer to as idiots. It is a Thursday edition. It is a crazy Thursday edition. We'll reset the Elon Trump stuff for you. And we'll get into your comments on all of that. If you have any thoughts, 615-737-9986. Open phones all day long on the Elon Trump back and forth. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It is Matt Murphy, and I want to talk with you for a moment about Tennessee Men's Clinic. Tennessee Men's Clinic can provide you some relief, needed relief, men, if you are finding yourself unable to perform in the way that you used to perform with intimate matters with your significant other. Now, I understand that's a delicate subject, right? And guys don't like talking about that in public, but with Evan Bass and his team at the Tennessee Men's Clinic, they put together programs that work. They have a program that is right for every guy that's listening to me. If you've noticed a decrease in energy levels, if you've noticed a decrease in abilities, you don't have to shy away from that. Let's face this head on and deal with it and overcome it and move on with our lives. That's what thousands and thousands of men have done at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. All it takes is a call. You'll meet with one of their qualified urologists, professional and discreet, and they will have a plan of action same day on the first visit, because they're going to take some blood work and they're going to get some answers about your T levels. Go to 615-208-9090 is the telephone number. 2 locations. One is the original in Midtown, and the other is in Cool Springs. 615-208-9090 or TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Now, the Tennessee Speaker of the House weighing in on Nashville's mayor ordering public tracking and reporting of interactions with federal immigration authorities. This story and more at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Oh, man, a lot of reaction on the Super Text line. If you want to jump in on the phones, you may do so. Nobody's on the phones right now. I'm a little surprised about that, but on my radio show, I take calls all day long throughout all the 4 hours. I know some don't, and that's fine. That's their show. It's my show, and I'm not casting those aspersions like I'm apt to do. But I'm just letting you know. 615-737-9986 if you have any thoughts on any of this. Love talking with you. Now, understand, I got Lee Reeves coming up at 3:35. I'm just trying to signpost so you know what you're getting into. But then open phones until 4 o'clock where we'll talk with Alice Rolley. Many of you are this is a good one. Joshua says, Matt, you should regrow your hair until Trump and Elon get along again.
Well, that could be next week.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. No, I'm not doing that. Thank you for the suggestion, though. John says, okay, Matt, where and how does this go forward? Do Trump and Elon reconcile? Donald Trump has made you get what you get when you have the Donald in charge. And this is a reality that I hope that I can say and not get all of you all butthurt about it. But it is a fact. And I love the guy. And I think he's done many great things for the United States of America. And I'm fully supportive of 95% of his agenda. Okay? And I'm supportive of a lot that's in this bill, particularly the tax cuts. Loyalty only goes one way with Donald Trump. And it's never not been that way. And I believe that it is a failure of his character. That he is willing to destroy people who have demonstrated tremendous loyalty to him because they disagree with him about something. It is a fail. I'll say it again for those of you in the back. I love the man and love what he's done for this country. There's one perfect man that's walked this earth. They nailed him to a cross. It is a failure of his character that he does not give some loyalty back to those that show him so much loyalty simply because they disagree on a subject. Elon Musk left. Elon Musk had the respect not to say any of this while he was involved with Donald Trump and Doge. He is now a private citizen, and freedom of speech indicates that he gets to have his opinion about what he wants to have his opinion about, and because of that, Donald Trump is attempting to destroy Elon Musk. And so Elon Musk is responding. I don't know what else to tell you about it. 32 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Nashville, Tennessee Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton is asking Mayor Freddie O'Connell to rescind O'Connell's executive order, which calls for publicly tracking and reporting interactions with federal immigration authorities in the Nashville area in response to last month's action between the Highway Patrol and ICE. Sexton says it puts agents in danger. And there's a huge gap between a row of homes in Gallatin where there was an explosion and fire this morning. Nearby homes damaged. This is Fire Chief Jeff Beeman.
We were dispatched at 10:31, a report of a house had exploded. And so you're really not sure what to expect. But as we were driving up here, you could see a large column of smoke. So we expected to see some damage. And then we arrived, we were faced with the situation that you see behind us here.
Yeah, at least one person injured and said to be in critical but stable condition. This happened in the subdivision near Lynn Cove. Right now in Washington, the rift between President Trump and Elon Musk over Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bill has devolved into accusations and threats. Trump suggesting one way to save billions of dollars is to cancel all of Musk's government contracts. Musk responding that effective immediately, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft. Prior to that, Musk posted to X that the reason the Epstein files haven't been released is because Trump is in them and that the truth will come out in the future. U.S. Supreme Court handing down a ruling in a reverse discrimination case today. James Sample, a constitutional law expert at Hofstra University, telling ABC News the court sided with Marlene Ames, an Ohio woman who says she was discriminated against because she's white and straight.
At least with respect to federal discrimination law, the court is saying this is no longer 1981. The same standards need to apply. And to be clear, this does not mean that Ames wins her case. It just means she gets another chance to press the case without that hurdle.
Yeah, this ruling was unanimous for Ames, who claims in a lawsuit that her gay boss declined to promote her because she's straight. And tonight there may be some traffic delays because Vice President J.D. Vance will be in town for a fundraiser. Scheduled to arrive at BNA this evening, then depart after the event. He'll deliver remarks along with U.S. Senators Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a crash 65 northbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. Got a crash blocking the left lane in Hermitage. TDOT says this is 40 eastbound at Central Pike. And then a crash on the right shoulder 24 eastbound at the Antioch Pike overpass. TDOT reporting that one. Police reporting a crash on the South Loop downtown, 40 westbound at 2nd Avenue. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you about your home for just a moment. I mean, I've for most of you, I've not been to your home, but have you noticed doors sticking or windows sticking? Have you worried about settlement of your home? Well, if you're concerned about it, let's get some peace of mind by calling USS. They are the home experts when it comes to foundation settling. And some of that is natural. Some of it is most unnatural because it can lead to problems like water issues, water getting into your home. Water's tenacious. It never stops. So if you have foundation repair issues, if you have water issues in your home, or if you need concrete leveling in your life, it's time to get with USS. USS has been in business since 1994. They are the premier foundation specialist in Middle Tennessee and beyond. Frankly, folks, I would not recommend anyone else than USS. For 30-plus years, they've been satisfying customers just like you. They have almost 30,000 customers that they lean on with their testimonials to demonstrate what I'm saying is the truth, that they get it done. Give them a call at 615-488-7855. That's 488-7855, or go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. The Wellness Institute of Nashville wants to talk with you. You know, Dr. Kevin Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team, I've spoken with them, known them for a long time, and I've made the switch to the Wellness Institute of Nashville because I need alleviation of my lower back pain with regularity, and they deliver it with their incredible spinal decompression techniques. You know, Donald Trump has not given up on the American people, and we're not going to give up on him. As a matter of fact, they tried 34 times to get the president of the United States, and you know what? We got the big 47. And right now, the Wellness Institute of Nashville is rolling out their $34 presidential special in honor of DJT. Get your first consultation, x-rays if needed, and your first treatment for $34. They want to make it really easy. They want to make it very affordable. They want to get you in there because if you're living in pain, the possibility exists that you can be pain-free, folks, and it doesn't have to take pills or surgery to get it done. Live a pain-free life. Start a pain-free life with a consultation with Dr. Kevin and Dr. Ashley and the rest of the team at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or go to painisbad.com. My name's Matt Murphy, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval. Oh, man. I just got the old, on the super text line. You know, somebody said that I should start growing my hair back out.
Yeah.
until Elon and Trump make up.
Yeah.
And somebody sent a photo to me. It said, Murphy waiting on Elon and Trump to make up, and it's a picture of cousin It from the Addams Family. No, I'm not doing all of that. I don't know. By the way, we have no idea. Donald Trump does not. Nobody gets under his skin. I don't believe. And obviously, Elon Musk is attempting to get under his skin, particularly with the Epstein tweet. So Donald Trump is and I don't say this as a nasty, okay? I do believe that his inability to show loyalty to people who have shown loyalty to him is a fault of his character. I understand that there's sometimes you need to cut it off, but sometimes Donald Trump doesn't have the ability to say, well, we just agree to disagree on this. He has to go there every time. And I love him and still support him, and I'm going to continue to support him, and there's nothing wrong with pointing that out. Some of you think there is, and there isn't. Secondarily, Donald Trump I don't believe Donald Trump is any of these ists that people say he is. I don't think he's a sexist. I don't think he's or a chauvinist. I don't think he's a racist. I don't think he's any of these things. But he is a narcissist. And what I mean by that, and I'm not saying that as a nasty, every president of the United States in American history has been somewhat of a narcissist. You kind of have to be to get to that position. But Donald Trump sees three types of people. This is my analysis, okay? He sees three types of people. He sees friends that he can use to advance his agenda. He sees enemies that are actively working against his agenda. And he sees the rest of the people who can either be supporters or in the way. And you can go from one to the other like that. Ask Elon. 5 days ago, Elon was a best buddy. Today, Elon is a worst enemy. Why? Because now Donald Trump sees Elon as an impediment to getting what he wants done. It doesn't matter whether we think it's right or wrong. Donald Trump wants the bill done. Elon was not in the way of that 5 days ago. And so Donald Trump, he was a friend. He's a friend. He is now in the way of that, and he has become an enemy. That's the way Donald Trump looks at the world, for better or worse. All right, we'll get more of your calls on that, more of your commentary on that in just a moment. I'm certain that we will have plenty of Truth Social posts and X posts, et cetera, to discuss. But I wanted to turn our attention to state matters with our good friend, Representative Lee Reeves, who joins us on the Murphy Show this afternoon to talk about his concern about a lack of activity involving our sheriffs across the great state of Tennessee. I don't want to get in front of the parade here, and so we welcome in Representative Reeves to the program. Hey, Lee, how are you?
Hey, Matt, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it as always. I'm in my home office today, but ready to talk about this with you because this is an important thing that we need to tackle in this state.
Well, I agree completely. But I have to ask you the obligatory question. You taking any position on this Elon Trump thing? We're going to let this play out. We're going to let this play out.
We're going to let it play out. I'm a supporter of both. They're obviously going back and forth. They fought before. And I assume they'll get to a point where they figure it out.
Well, let's hope. It is certainly drawing attention to their individual platforms on social media. I'll give them that.
I can tell you this, Matt. I'm not going to grow my hair out until they're done. So, it's just.
I was kind of hoping. I was saving that one till the end. I was kind of hoping you'd go with me on that. Before we talk about this sheriff issue, Lee, I think I know where you are on this deal with Davidson County, and I understand you're down in Williamson, but you've been watching and you've been seeing some of the activity on the part of the mayor and the unfortunate, what he calls a mistake, where they're outing ICE members on Metro government websites. What are your overall thoughts on this and its impact on public safety?
Well, it certainly was a mistake, but I'm not sure it was unintentional. I'll back off of that a little bit. Give the mayor the benefit of the doubt, I guess, but it was pretty abysmal. I've been disappointed by what I've seen out of Nashville and, this executive order that got passed. I was with Congressman Ogles and Senator Jack Johnson the other day when there was a press conference and the windows of the Capitol were almost broken in. but I was there to make some comments because this is an important issue, and what we've seen so far out of Metro is disappointing. I had the chance to talk to some of the ICE officers after that press conference, and it brought home for me exactly how big of a problem this is in Nashville. And of course, being down in Williamson, we're just one county south, and the crime and the problems that result from this really do bleed over into all the surrounding counties. So we all have an interest in getting this right.
So with that in mind, I mean, there are programs in place that give the state of Tennessee and our local municipalities and the officers, the peace officers that we empower in those municipalities, ways to work with the federal government. Walk us through what those are.
Yeah, I appreciate that question. And this is something that I have been really talking about for the last week because while investigations are ongoing into the mayor of Nashville, we're going to let those take place. But in the meantime, there is a federal program with ICE called the 287G program. And this allows law enforcement to enter into agreements with ICE to help in various ways. Now, there's 3 parts to that program, but law enforcement doesn't have to do all 3 parts. There's the task force model, which is arresting people on the streets. There's the jail enforcement model, which is a 4-week training program. You fly into Virginia, you do that training program, and then you coordinate with the federal government. But there's a very simple one called the Warrant Service Officer Program, and that's the one I'm really focused on here. 67 of 67 counties or sheriffs in Florida have entered into at least that program. And we've only got 10 out of our 95 counties here in Tennessee. And it's an 8-hour training. It allows immigration warrants to be served inside of the jail system instead of releasing somebody into a neighborhood and then trying to do an arrest. It's an important and I think easy and inexpensive way for our local sheriffs across the state to serve these warrants and keep dangerous and risky people off the street. So
why is it? I mean, is there an unawareness of this? You mentioned that. I mean, how many municipalities? Let's talk about the sheriffs. I think that you were focused on that, and I saw your X post from I guess yesterday. So how many sheriffs are currently taking advantage of the 287G?
Well, so only 10 out of our 95 sheriffs, okay. But we just had 2 sign up this week, just 2 days ago. So I think people are getting caught up on this. They're understanding that this is an option. This program has been around for a number of years, but essentially it was shelved during the Biden administration. So I think people are just becoming aware of it again. And that's why I'm out front trying to educate folks that this is available. And if you don't have this in your county, and by the way, none of the counties around Nashville have this yet. So I'm trying to get Davidson and Williamson and Rutherford and Wilson to all sign up because this is so important to identify the folks in their county jails.
What's and I know it's where the rubber meets the road, and I want to talk to you about that in a minute. But I'm curious. I mean, because you're in Williamson County, have you yet had an opportunity to speak to any official within the sheriff's department, and what do they tell you is, if anything, the holdup?
I have, and so I've talked to Sheriff Hughes just today, actually, a couple times today, and I know this is something he is looking at. One of his major concerns is what does it require and what are the financial resources that it requires. The Warrant Service Officer 287G program, my understanding, doesn't require much. And that's why I'm pushing on that so hard. I've also talked to the Tennessee Sheriff's Association today multiple times. And I'm urging them to get out in front of this and get sheriffs across the state signed up for this program as well. And I know that they're looking at doing that.
And I guess maybe it is an awareness issue, or perhaps there was a general belief that, and I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt, not to certain communities. I mean, I can kind of understand why the more populated, quote unquote, blue dots in Tennessee might be loath to do this, but yeah, I'm genuinely, because this is where the rubber meets the road, right? I mean, when we talk about giving local authorities the ability to better monitor the activity of illegal aliens in their community and do something about it, well, they don't have the individual authority to actually facilitate, the removal. But this gives them the connective tissue where they can communicate with Immigration and Customs Enforcement and those federal officials that do. So this is the linchpin in it all to me.
It is to me too. And, look, like I said, there is a task force model that actually lets them coordinate with ICE in traffic stops and other things. But I'm just talking about these are folks already in the prisons, in the jail system.
Right. It's not even, these aren't even on the street. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
So let's figure out who they are and get them off the street and keep them off the street.
So I had a super texter that have asked because several, as a matter of fact. Do you, off the top of your head, Lee, or do you have it in front of you, like which 10? Because people are curious. I mean, and this is, I think, people want to applaud those that have actually signed up for this. Do you know off the top of your head? Could you list which 10?
Yeah, I've got it in front of me. So I know Grundy County is exploring getting that done. It's pending, it says. And let's see, Macon County just signed up this week. Bradley County just signed up this week. You've got Sullivan, Sumner, Giles, Hamilton, and Putnam counties. And then Greene and Knox County had signed up back in 2020 for the jail enforcement model of this. And I'd like our listeners out there to confirm with their sheriffs that those programs are still active.
So what does it take if we've got anybody that has connection with sheriff's departments? I mean, our footprint is pretty large in Middle Tennessee at very least, and on social media platforms and podcasts, we even go beyond that. So what is the process, Lee? I mean, if there's anybody that knows a sheriff or anybody that is a sheriff or sheriff's deputy, what do they have to do?
Well, I get in touch with ICE. We've got resources with ICE. I think every sheriff, certainly, if they don't know how to get in touch with ICE, I'm happy to put them in touch with ICE. The tools exist. The law allows this. The training is relatively simple. It's an 8-hour training online for a warrant service officer. The sheriffs just need to take that next step and sign a memorandum of understanding with ICE and get going on it.
Well, I appreciate your work on this because this is the real deal, right? We talk about it a lot. Hey, do our local officials have the ability to deal with these folks that they might find in their communities that are lawbreakers, criminals, even beyond the criminal activity of coming across the southern border? This is where it happens. Thank you for drawing the attention to it. I wanted to highlight it on the show, Lee, and if there are any updates in any aspect of this, please come back on the show and let us know.
I absolutely will. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Thank you, Lee. There's Lee Reeves representing Williamson County and doing great work highlighting the need for local sheriff's departments to take up this 287G program and create that connective tissue between themselves and ICE. 53 after the hour on Super Talk. All right, folks, Grace Point Healthcare. It is modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. We like to say that. Well, what is the old-fashioned way? It's that relationship between you and your doctor where you call up your doctor, whether it's Dr. Rob or any of the other qualified medical professionals at Grace Point, and you say, hey, I am not feeling good. I need to get in there today or tomorrow, and you'll get in. I mean, that's the way it works at Grace Point. No, there's no long waits. They are a family-oriented practice, meaning that they can treat everybody in your family, and they are a direct pay facility. That means that the doctors at Grace Point, they believe in the doctor-patient relationship, old school style, right? They believe in diagnosing what's going on with you and figuring out a plan of action without interference from any other entity, including insurance companies. Now, obviously, you can file for reimbursement through your insurance company after the fact. But the bottom line is that you're going to get better treatment. You're going to know exactly what it costs, and you are going to have a better relationship with you and your doctor at Grace Point Healthcare. I am a testimony to it, and I believe in it. Call Grace Point Healthcare at 599-6868. Grace Point Healthcare is located in the heart of Franklin. I love these guys. They are affordable and exceptional medicine at your convenience. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine, delivered the old-fashioned way.
4 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Nashville, more pressure on the mayor for his opposition to federal illegal immigration enforcement operations, particularly those last month when the Highway Patrol was enforcing traffic laws. When they would pull somebody over for an infraction and that person could not prove their legal residence, ICE would come in. And those people were then taken to a deportation center in Louisiana. Well, Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives Cameron Sexton's asking Mayor Freddie O'Connell to rescind his executive order that calls for the public tracking and reporting of interactions with federal immigration authorities in the Nashville area because, Sexton says, it's putting ICE agents in danger. Channel 4's Dryden Quigley has an update from the scene of this morning's home explosion and fire in Gallatin.
Neighbors say they heard the loud boom and looked outside. The fire chief says the house was going through a final inspection, and the inspector was testing appliances when the house exploded. The force was so big that it actually damaged two houses 2 doors down from it, buckling their walls. One neighbor actually was the one to help the inspector. She said he came to her driveway and was covered in burns and blood, but was conscious and talking. He's now in critical but stable condition in the hospital.
Right now in Washington, the rift between President Trump and Elon Musk over Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bill has devolved into accusation and threats. President Trump suggesting one way to save billions of taxpayer dollars is to cancel all of Musk's government contracts. Musk responding that effective immediately, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft, which is used by NASA to put astronauts and cargo on the International Space Station. Prior to that, Musk posted to X that the reason the Epstein files haven't been released is because Trump is in them and the truth will come out in the future. A major decision from the Supreme Court today could impact lawsuits against employers in D.C. and nearly 24 states. ABC's Devin Dwyer is in Washington reporting the court sided with an Ohio woman who alleges discrimination because she's white and straight.
Title VII of the Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex or sexual orientation. What had happened in this case is Marlene Ames, the plaintiff who was seeking to sue the Ohio Department of Youth Services, where she had worked for 15 years, brought her claims to court. They were tossed out by a federal appeals court that said she had to prove something higher because she was a white straight woman. She had to show some background circumstances in order to even get in the courthouse door. But what the Supreme Court said today is it's a level playing field for everybody under Title VII, no matter who you are.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, got a stalled vehicle on the left shoulder. This is, they just cleared that, so never mind. In Berry Hill, we've got a crash, 65 northbound at Armory Drive. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All righty, here we go. Hey guys, it is 6 minutes after 4 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Chris Webber, fair warning. I'm going to say this, and I have y'all seen the social medias lately?
Something new?
What happened?
Have you? I mean, just today. I mean, I'm just asking folks that are just joining us. Pardon me, I didn't pull it up for you, Alice. If you've not seen the social media, as the great Lloyd Bridges once said,
looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. That's right, or sniffing glue. So Elon and Trump are going back and forth, yada yada yada. We will break it down for you in the 5 o'clock hour. But just a side note, and I was texting, communicating with our good friend Brian Wilson about this moments ago, and he and I are in agreement that if there was any meat behind the tweet regarding Trump and Epstein, explain to me why Joe Biden and Kamala Harris wouldn't have used that against Donald Trump in the 2024 election. So I don't necessarily believe that's meat. I think that's Elon acting like a child because Elon is mad at Trump and Trump is mad at Elon, and they're both 9, and they're. I mean, that's basically what's going on. One's going, and the other goes, and then they go. But enough about that. We're going to talk about things that are a little closer to home that might have a bit more impact in our lives than what's going on social media with our good friend Alice Rolley. I had the honor of meeting Alice several years ago when she made the decision. I'd heard her name, and I knew that she has been involved in politics, more particularly Republican Party politics, for a long time in the state of Tennessee. And then she threw her hat in the ring and ran for mayor of Nashville. And I can say without any qualification that I wish she had won, and I wish that I could introduce her as Mayor Alice Rolley. I cannot, but I can introduce her as the executive producer of Children's Hospital Alliance of Tennessee. Alice Rolley joins us in that role and to talk about politics generally. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. I mean, nine-year-olds are, if Trump and Elon are having a 9-year-old day, I have a 9-year-old, and I'm, happy to opine on the big feelings of little boys. But we don't have to talk too much about that.
That is perfect. The big feelings of little boys.
Yeah, big feelings. Sometimes you need a timeout because you're having some big feelings.
This is what happens when 9-year-olds, one of them is the richest man or the richest boy in the world.
Yeah.
And one is the most powerful boy in the world.
Yeah.
And they both bought themselves social media platforms.
Yeah, and they're breaking up during Pride Month. It's perfect. Bromance. It's over. Okay, Matt, I'm so glad to be back. This is my first time to do any media since my mayoral.
Is this, I mean,
I did one show with Scott Crouch on 17, but no, I've kind of just been head down doing the work and I've sort of stayed away and
thank you for you. Yeah, well, I want to kind of present maybe a little denouement to that part of your life by saying this. Thank you for speaking for those in Davidson County who don't feel like there's a voice. Thank you for taking on that battle that you knew was always an uphill fight. everything has to go exactly right for someone of your belief system to win in Davidson County nowadays. And you fought the good fight, and I know how many people appreciate that.
Well, thank you. No, and it was, I know a lot of friends are entrepreneurs and business folks who listen to your show. And I would say it is a little bit like starting or launching a business. You go around and people sort of think, "Is she serious? Is that really going to happen?" And then you start to get. I likened it to, jumping off a high dive in the deep end, and these angels come out. And there were so many people who came out and supported the campaign and said, and frequently at these incessant forums. I mean, I think there were 80 forums that summer, and people would walk up to me and say, "You're saying what makes sense, and everyone else is afraid to say it." And I'll maybe give one really specific example with a place that we are separate from the budget, but with security and safety in the city broadly. So I launched my campaign in March 2023. Mayor Cooper had announced the prior month that he was out. He had the endorsement of the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police. When there is no endorsed candidate, they welcome anyone running to come to their meetings. It's Monday night, the first Monday on Welshwood Avenue at the Lodge. You can go there as a candidate. You're thinking about running for something, talk to the police, ask them what they need, ask them what they're thinking about. I went there the first Monday in March. No one else was there. I thought, well, maybe they've all been here, or maybe they know something I don't know, right? Speak to them. Then I go back the first Monday of April, a few days after the Covenant School shooting, when you think every person in our city would want to be there who's running for office to say thank you to our officers for what they did and how different that was than the officers in Uvalde. And no one was there other than the congressional offices. And they said they don't want to be seen with us. And that was the moment where I knew I needed to run to give regular people a voice, to say, we appreciate you, police force. We appreciate what you're doing. Just try to say what I think regular people are thinking.
So I have to inundate you with questions about the current state of affairs and just generally your perception of what's going on in and around Metro Nashville. And you go right to the heart of it. I mean, is there any reason why we don't have mechanisms like FUSIS or LPRs in place, except for personality types on the council that have prevented it? Because it just feels like they have to ignore the real crime problem that is present in front of us to be able to ignore the need for systems like this.
No, I think personality problems is well put, right? Because if when I first was running and said I support LPRs, it was, Alice, you're racist. You are racist for wanting to put LPRs in the place where the most crime is occurring, which was done in a very data-driven way. Instead of saying, well, the whitest part of our city, Belmead, has LPRs all over it.
Right.
Nobody's running around Belmead saying you're racist, right? They're saying those LPR and the data, we're turning it over to Metro to help us solve crimes. We're turning it over to Wilson County. We're turning it over to Sumner County, or even the department, the State Department. So first, that was the personality charge, you must be racist. Second, it was in the final debate, it was you must want to follow women's reproductive health decisions, and you're going to turn this information over to the state. That was fascinating. And now, and it really is the council running the mayor's office, because what you watched in this last LPR and FUSIS debate is you actually watched former council people who were completely against LPRs when they were in the council and FUSIS, who were now arguing for it. Dave Rosenberg and the mayor were then arguing for it recently. But the council is in charge, and it's not going to pass because now it's immigration.
And I'm and I'm not. It's not. That's right.
New.
And I'm not going to. And look, I'm not asking you to agree with this, but and I don't say this to just be nasty. I mean, I call him Feckless Freddy because he really doesn't. I mean, LPRs is a great example. The council passed the authorization.
Yep, and we had almost a 2-year pilot.
And you had they're waiting on contracts, and they have to approve the contract. So it's just to make sure people understand. The pilot program happened. They agreed that the pilot program was successful. They agreed to move forward with the full program, the full license plate reader program. Freddie had to bring them contracts, and they had to approve the contracts. Freddie's excuse for not bringing, it's on him to bring the contracts. His excuse for not bringing the contracts is, well, they wouldn't approve them now because the nature of the council has changed. Well, make them vote on it. Make them not approve it. If you claim that you support LPRs, and he goes back and forth depending on which audience he's talking to. When he's in front of my audience, he'll say he's personally in favor of them. When he's in front of other audiences, he won't say that.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem, that he's allowing what he thinks the council will. I mean, I think you're exactly right. He allows what he thinks they're going to do to dictate what he does as mayor.
Yeah, and yes, and so we don't have to go. We switch gears, but I will say earlier today, I have gotten to work. You mentioned, I think some folks in the legislature before. I know Lee Reeves was on. Have gotten to work this last session quite a bit with the Israel Tennessee caucus, and then just broader anti-Semitism legislation that was brought. And earlier today was on a sort of a task force meeting. And all of our houses of worship that are concerned about crimes against their community, the Jewish community first and foremost in the city, want things like Fusus, right? And that's a private business or a private entity saying, we'd like to feed our crime data directly in there so that if there's a bad guy coming on our campus, you can know that right away.
We'd like to have that direct relationship with law enforcement.
Yeah.
That's what that's all about. What I know many people that listen are curious about your thoughts about public safety as it pertains to what the latest has happened. I know that many on the city council want to turn this into a brown person issue. I don't believe that it's a brown person issue. I think it's a law and order issue. And frankly, I've made the case that for those communities that we know are higher in terms of the illegal alien population, those communities need the criminals out of their areas as well, and they suffer more so than Alice Rolley or Matt Murphy because if a criminal commits an act against them, they don't feel like they can go to the police.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, no, and we say this a lot. You got to get back to more nouns and verbs and less adjectives, right? When you call, you want the police to come, period. Right? If you see a crime being committed, and I hear the side that says over policing, but if we have better prosecutable evidence from Fusus or LPR data, then instead of doing a general search for a 5'6" man of a certain build and background, we can say, I'm looking specifically for this car registered to this person who lives at this address.
Right.
And so can we be more precise in finding the right person instead of creating fear in the entire community of sort of looking for somebody based on a general description? All
right. Final thought on Davidson County, and then I want to ask you about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
So, property taxes.
Yes.
When I first got here in late 21, everybody was still smarting over the Cooper property tax increases. And how dare he increase our property taxes during a time where, folks aren't working and we got COVID going on and whatnot. And then here we are again. And so O'Connell comes on the show and says, well, Matt, he telegraphed it in January to his credit. He did not discount it. He said, Matt, a reassessment year of values, that's the time for us to reassess whether or not we're appropriately rating it. And we have to equalize it. And after that, we're going to figure it out. And it's a little complex how that happens. But bottom line is the mayor has proposed a budget that would include effectively a 27% rate increase for most Davidson County residents. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I brought
it's a little
something.
open-ended.
I know. I brought something from my dear friend, Dr. Achinta Ray, who's over at Tennessee State University. Check out Dr. Ray and many of his writings on this topic. If we step back and say 6 years ago to today, we have added $1 billion of property tax collection from Davidson County residents. $1 billion in 6 years. I think that the citizens of Davidson County would have liked first to see a budget that said, I am not raising your property taxes, and this is what the budget would look like to not do that, right? And then to come in to say, I'm raising your property taxes 27% because these are the things that I think are important, right?
Like, give us the side by side.
Yeah, and instead the direction is our rates are really low. That's what they always say. our rates are really low, Alice. Your rates are really low. But your rates are not what you pay. On a per capita basis, we are the highest taxed, and it's not a city-county issue. It is literally Dr. Ray, and shout out to him. I believe him. He pulls together so much defensible data. On both city-county tax, so if you're Mount Juliet and Wilson County and you look at collections and per capita basis, we are the highest taxed. And so the idea that you're running around saying, our rates are really low, therefore we must tax you more because it's an appraisal year, versus this is what my budget would look like if I held the rate flat, and this is what I'm asking you taxpayers to add. And one operates from a perspective that is your money, the taxpayer. The other operates from the perspective of I'm supposed to do this because it's an appraisal year, right?
Well, and you're dead on psychologically with how this is being played, because if you were to present the flat budget, let's call it, and then present the alternative, and then you're giving the counselors and the people an opportunity to compare and contrast. What you do is, if you're the mayor and you present a budget that's already embedded with a 27% increase, you're forcing the council to take things away from the community.
That's right. Yep. And once a zero-based budget, all your business people on here, they don't start with like, and I had a conversation with Washington this morning, what are y'all doing about these cuts and whatever? I'm like, well, we're starting with saying like, what do we actually need versus what did they send us last year? Like, when you look at 2019 to 2026, the growth in spending, and I know you're earlier on the federal side, and people go, it's a cut. I'm like, it is a cut back to a place where, if you're spending 15% more now today than you were 4 years ago, but instead we're sort of saying you're cutting half of the budget, what was this inflated budget?
Well, and it's a book, it's a page out of the federal playbook, right?
Yep. Yes.
So if you embed a 5% increase in your budget year to year, right? And so this year I spent $100, and embedded is a 5% increase, so I'm going to spend $105 next year. But I, as the leader, come up and tell everybody, hey, we don't have the money and we can only have a 3% increase this year. Then my opponents tell everybody that I'm cutting the budget. I'm not cutting the budget. I'm cutting the increase. And so when Freddie embeds the 27% property tax rate increase into the budget. Or when people
say you have the lowest rate over and over and over again.
Right. So you're misinforming the public for the purpose of forcing the opposition to defend what aren't cut. So if I'm a city councilor and I say, hey, maybe this is too much, boss, can we just do a 15% increase? Then the people that support this look at me and go, oh, why do you want to cut the budget? Well, I'm not cutting the budget. We're increasing the budget. I'm just cutting the increase. So, I mean, you're playing with semantics, but it's important because let me tell you, I've talked to people. My good friend Pamela Furr is one of them. And she's a great example, and she's a very public-facing example where she said, I live in Davidson County. I've been living in Davidson County for decades, and I'm making plans to move out of Davidson County because Davidson County is becoming unaffordable to regular people. And final thought, I'll give you the final thought on this. On the property tax front, simultaneously while they're doing this, Freddie looks at the people and is arguing that he's going to bring affordable housing back to Davidson County. How do you do both? I mean, because the suggestion is that the landlords that own the property
are not going to pass on the rate increase. No, we said exactly the same thing. And I think most people listening say affordable for who? You are also trying to and you look at our vacancy rates right now here in our non-owner occupied rates. I mean, as a city, Pamela Furr and people like Pamela Furr, Dolly, me, other people in Madison are going, if I sell my house and move across the county line, I'm going to be better off. And you are seeing that in our numbers. The cities, it is a fallacy that we are growing. Our population is flat in our school enrollment from 2019 to today. And yet, we're looking at $400 million more in spending than we did 6 years ago. We're looking at a flat population. We've basically hit 700,000 residents, and we haven't moved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alice Rolley is our guest. We're going to shift gears in just a moment, talk about some other matters. I'm very curious what Alice has been doing with her time. We're going to find that out together. It's 24 after the hour. It's time for a timeout. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So, Father's Day is almost here, and I tell you all the time that Volunteer Outfitters is the one-stop shop for all things outdoorsman in your life, or outdoorswoman, I suppose, in your life. I mean, whether it's somebody that loves beach time or loves saltwater time or boat time or lake time, or you like to get out in the field and hunt or whatever it might be, the one-stop shop for all of these things, Volunteer Outfitters. They also have great team gear. And friends, we are gearing up for another football season. And if you're ready to gear up by getting some good new clothing for the season, you do that at Volunteer Outfitters as well. Now, Father's Day is almost here, and Dad doesn't need another coffee mug, and he certainly doesn't need another tie. He needs fresh gear from Volunteer Outfitters. They've got everything for the outdoorsman. Southern Marsh, Drake, Huck are just a few of the name brands that you'll find at Volunteer Outfitters. And every Tuesday is T-Shirt Tuesday at Volunteer Outfitters. Now, I have it on good authority that yours truly, Matt Murphy, might be making an appearance coming the Saturday before Father's Day. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the 14th. I believe that's right. We'll get some details on that for you. But bottom line is this. I'll be out there coming up a couple of Saturdays from now with Tommy and the rest of the crew. We'll give you more details on that. Just get on out to Volunteer Outfitters on New Shackle Island Road in Hendersonville.
More pressure on Nashville's mayor over illegal immigration enforcement. We'll have that story and more at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy, Alice Rolley in studio with us. Our first chance to chat with Alice, and it's been a month of Sundays. I do get a chance to talk with her on background every once in a while, but
I do. I listen to your show with great regularity. You were asking me what am I doing since running for mayor. So I am leading the Children's Hospital Alliance of Tennessee, and that is a really it's an amazing role, amazing hospitals that we have for kids. But I also spend a fair amount of time. My husband's gone back to work full time, and so I am the frequent 3 to 7 o'clock taxi driver.
Nice.
So my shout out right now is to all the moms and dads who are driving between camp pickup and, dropping off at the pool and picking up and going to gymnastics or wherever you're going, those moms and dads are listening to you, Matt.
How?
I'm with you.
You got the 9-year-old?
And a 13-year-old.
9 and 13?
Who's now taller than me in heels. In heels, my 13-year-old is taller than me.
You win the radio war with them in the car?
Oh no,
or do they do the earbuds?
Yeah, earbuds. So and frequently I turn it off. I do turn it off when I get them in the car.
Oh boy, I've got. You know what, Chris? I've told you to stop that cussing because there's kids listening in the car. I've told Ken and I've told Chris to don't talk like that. Don't yell. Yeah. I told Weaver, stop yelling so much. There are children in the car, and he won't listen.
We'll do better, I promise.
I think but every once in a while I'll hear you. I feel like it's very timely. I'll turn it on and then I'll hear you thinking like, who is that person? Then I might send you a text as like a nudge of a name.
I want to know about this organ. I want to know about CHAT. Do we call it chat?
Yeah, chat. Mm-hmm.
Chat? All right. Well, we'll find out about that after we hear from Ken Weaver. He's got a newscast, maybe an update on the social media battles amongst Elon and DJT. That's on the way. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Nashville, the Tennessee Speaker of the House is asking Mayor Freddie O'Connell to rescind his executive order for public tracking and reporting of interactions with federal immigration enforcement agents. Cameron Sexton posting online, individuals are harassing and interfering in the lawful duty of these agents, and it is putting them in danger. One person's in critical but stable condition following this morning's home explosion and fire in the subdivision near Lynn Cove in Gallatin. This neighbor telling Channel 4 it was terrifying.
It literally felt like somebody was driving their car through my garage. So I came out here, I heard somebody screaming, and so I went back inside, grabbed my son, grabbed my dog, and left.
Yeah, the home is destroyed. Some nearby homes damaged with windows blown out. The explosion happened during inspection of the appliances in that home. President Trump and Elon Musk trading insults and threats over Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bill. Trump posting to Truth Social, the easiest way to save money in the U.S. budget is to terminate Musk's government subsidies and contracts. Musk responded on X that effective immediately, he is decommissioning SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft used to send and return astronauts and cargo to the International Space Station. And then he suggested that the reason the Epstein files have not been released is because President Trump is in them. The U.S. Supreme Court has unanimously ruled in favor of allowing a reverse discrimination lawsuit by a white straight woman to go forward. Here's Devin Dwyer.
This involved alleged reverse discrimination by a straight woman alleging being passed over for a job because she was not gay by a gay employer. And what the Supreme Court unanimously said today in this opinion by Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is that the standard is the same no matter whether you're in a minority group or a majority group alleging discrimination.
Today's ruling impacts similar lawsuits in D.C. and nearly 24 states. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Very slow going trying to get around the downtown area because of CMA Fest. Now, if you're trying to get out to get home, you've got the usual slowdowns, particularly heavy going northbound 65 between 440 and the South Loop, then eastbound 440 between 65 and 24. We do have a wreck reported in Jolton. This one is on the right shoulder. TDOT says 4 vehicles are involved. It's 24 westbound at the Cheatham-Davidson County line. Also got a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane in Jolton, 24 westbound past Whites Creek Pike. In Berry Hill, police reporting a crash 65 northbound at Armory Drive. And traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. And, I'm not here to scare heck out of you, although sometimes I feel like I do that. But I'm here to just tell you the truth. And the truth of the matter is that it seems that our world is getting more and more dangerous. At least we hear a lot more about some of the dangers that are out there. Well, if you are a business owner, if you are a decision maker at a school or a church, and you're concerned about that, I would encourage you to call Brink Fiddler, my good friend with Defense Systems. Brink understands the dangerous nature of the world that we live in. He understands what people do right and what people do wrong in terms of running a business, and what you do right and wrong in terms of instructing your staff about the possibilities of things like workplace violence, about active shooter response, rapid medical response in the event that you have a negative situation come to your place of business, your school, or your church, any place that people gather. The bottom line is this. The possibility of you going through something like this is minuscule, but it is not zero. That's why hope's not a plan. You got to get trained. And the person to train you, the company to train you, is Defend Systems. They've been doing this for a long time, and they're very, very good at what they do. Contact Defend Systems by going to defendsystems.com, quite simply, or 615-236-6484, 236-6484 for our friends at Defend Systems. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Man, oh man, some of the conversations that Alice and I are having off air are just as good as those on air. Thank you for being in with us for the better part of the hour. We are good. Never you fear. We're getting to all of the nitty-gritty details on Trump and Musk coming up at about 5 o'clock today. We've got another segment with Alice that we want to we just want to look. I don't want to get into it at all, but I feel obligated to do it for you. So we shall do so. Alice is with us. You are executive director of the, I need my glasses, the Children's Hospital Alliance of Tennessee.
Yeah.
What is that?
So that is this state's 5 nonprofit comprehensive children's hospitals. So that's Le Bonheur in Memphis, Monroe Carroll here in Nashville at Vanderbilt, Erlanger Children's in Chattanooga, East Tennessee Children's in Knoxville, and then Niswonger up in the Tri-Cities. And what we do is we advocate for the specific needs of children's hospitals. They are not the same. And it is very heavily Medicaid funded, which is a state program. So that's sort of job one, is we want to have the very best children's hospitals. And it's pretty rare in our region. You're from Alabama originally, but to have 5 really child-focused hospitals in our state is really punching above our weight with respect to our neighbors. And then we also run the Quality Collaborative. So if your child is hospitalized, let's say for an appendectomy or tonsillitis, we want to also make sure that something else doesn't happen to the child, that they fall, right? Or that they get some kind of infection while they're in the hospital. So we run this collaborative, and in that work, we're joined by St. Jude. So that is how do we make sure, and it's really beautiful, we do not compete on quality. And there's a state law that allows us to share that information across hospitals. Central line infections and unplanned, just all kinds of things that are very specific to children's experience in a hospital. How do we make sure that's better? And then the last thing that we do, which is usually the most interesting for people to talk about, is how do we prevent your child from ever coming to the hospital? And so we, smart people can hold 2 things in their head at once, right? One is that I can ask for the most money for our children's hospitals to make sure it's the best, but I can actually want it to be empty. That is the best situation. If we had an empty hospital, that would be great.
Right. We didn't spend all our money this year. You can have some of it back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do we rely, and this is a really, really broad question. I might be opening up a can of worms. I don't know. Do we, do our publicly funded hospitals rely too much on federal money?
Well, do they rely, does our healthcare, I think you're asking, does our healthcare system, broadly speaking, rely too much on federal money?
What I would refer to as fake money.
You could refer to it as fake money. Right. So Medicaid covers about half of the kids in Tennessee.
Right.
And about half of the births in Tennessee.
Right.
So meaning...
that's just the reality.
That's the reality. As a family of 4, to qualify for TennCare, you're making, I think the numbers are currently, in Stephen Smith, if you're listening, and I've got this wrong, correct me tomorrow, but I think it's roughly $78,000 a year is where your children would qualify for Medicaid of a family for 4. And our median family income as a state is about that number. So the idea that Medicaid is not covering our neighbors and friends is not true in Tennessee. And in Tennessee, it takes generally the position that we do not require private insurers to. We don't put a lot of burden on private companies about what their insurance is required to have. Right? We're very free market state. We don't want to tell private businesses what to do. But we also take the position that we do not want a child to suffer or their family to suffer. And so we have been very, I think, helping families with programs like Katie Beckett. If you are a family that has a child with complex medical needs where they may be wheelchair bound and you don't qualify for Medicaid, there is a program that the state does help your family with extraordinary expenses that might sort of otherwise bankrupt you as having a child with special needs. And so we do, I think, take a compassionate perspective around children that need specialized care.
In your experience as the executive director of CHAT, how would you, in your conversations with these hospitals around the state and hospital officials, how are we doing in terms of childhood health?
Yeah, well, that's we are doing great in terms of treating children in the hospital. We would like to work more on preventing childhood health issues. So we are in the bottom 10 in the country on many issues around childhood health, right? Our child fatality rate, broadly speaking, is above that of the national average. That's a problem, meaning more children die here. Half of the children that die each year are under 12 months old, so that's a lot of infant deaths. We have, from an obesity perspective and diabetes rate, we are not doing well. And so in terms of like general nutrition and general health metrics, we have a ways to go.
I feel like, without having any level of expert, I'm just a dude that talks on the radio, right? And I don't have any kids. So I have just like zero basis of knowledge for this. But my perception is, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that we're doing, in 2025 in Tennessee, we're doing really good, better than ever with, hey, my kid fell down and hit her head. Let's get her to the hospital and let's get her treated and let's fix this. Arm breaks or what, accident-related things like that.
Yep.
We're doing really good. And that maybe we're not doing so good in the preventative space, in the, hey, if we want to prevent this or that or the other coming up in your child's teenage years, maybe we need some more exercise or some more healthy food. And a lot of that goes back to, I would guess, is parental education and helping them understand that there are better ways than just going through the drive-through maybe, or there are different alternatives for them.
Yeah, no, in this legislative session, so if we sort of wanted to tick through some places there. So the House actually passed a bill. It wasn't heard in the Senate, and I think it may be next year, but to basically stop having SNAP, one of our federal aid programs, to pay for things like candy bars and soft drinks, right?
Yeah.
And one could say, Alice, that's a really kind of small issue, small ball, but what we, the Children's Hospital Alliance probably 15 years ago took on Big Soda then into saying, what do we stock in our vending machines at schools? And you can say that's just part of their day or part of their dollars. But when government says it's okay to spend government money on something, it's sending a signal that it's healthy, right?
Yeah.
We don't let you spend that money on smokes or booze. So we're sort of saying it's okay to buy these things. So I think that just from a dollars and cents in sort of education wise, the legislature did this year pass a bill to help educate parents. So Department of Health and Department of Education together. And we, Children's Hospital Alliance, have sent a bunch of materials from all of our hospitals to help them in affecting this law on diabetes awareness, diabetes education, to your point about how do we help prevent that. Chairman Sipicki, who I know you have frequently on the show, he carried a bill along with Senator Hensley around increasing the amount of recess time, so unstructured play for kids before and after school and during school. We know and what's fascinating when you're on the Hill is this was told to me last week. They said, Alice, we know who's against changing SNAP, meaning big soda and big candy.
Sure.
We don't know who's for it. and you're like, I'm for it. We're for it.
Yeah.
Right. Same with recess, right? All these curricula companies and all these different, teacher groups are like, oh, no, we can't have more recess time because we got to sell more books or do more other stuff. And I maybe not unfairly simplifying that. But the moms are like, the kids need to play, right? And that's such common sense in terms of activity and sort of better place. And then I want to give Leader Lamberth a lot of credit in this last session for his bill around really taking on the CDB cannabis space and recognizing that had been regulated by agriculture and it needed to come under alcohol and tobacco. It needed to have a stronger amount of regulation because what we see in our ERs, what's coming in, what kids are putting in, ingesting, that when it's less regulated, it is hard for us to kind of backwards map and say, what did you ingest and what's there? And so he and then also other members of the legislature just sort of looking at vaping broadly. So people are doing the work, but do we have a long way to go? We absolutely do.
How do you see cell phone usage impacting the lives of children?
Yeah. So cell phone usage. There's a great for all the parents driving around waiting for your kids and
maybe
wherever you're going.
Whatever.
Maybe you're on your phone. There is a great book called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, and really there was a bill this year passed, which we would refer to as an anxious generation bill, around cell phone usage in schools. Right. So what's our role in government? We can look at how the school day is. And we can send a direction that says having this much time on your phone or at school, we see this as a problem. So now it is the law in Tennessee that every school district is required to come up with a policy to make phones unavailable during instructional time. So it's still allowing the locals to figure out, does that mean in a backpack? Does that mean you leave it in your car? Does that mean it's in your locker? But you cannot have that phone during instructional time. And that is important. And when we see the rise in childhood mental health issues and the rise of childhood social media, and that we as a country, and Senator Blackburn has a great bill. It passed the Senate 91-3 last year, 91-3, to hold tech social media companies accountable for using our children as products, and it was never heard in the House.
How about we pass a bill holding parents responsible for something?
Yeah, no,
I mean,
and 100%. Like, and I think anxious generation as a parent of a 13-year-old. So I held the line on not letting my child get a phone until he was 13. And he all the time, I mean, he's not listening, thankfully, because he doesn't have a plain old radio. But he all the time says to me, Mama, I need Snap. I need Snapchat. And I'm like, no, you cannot have that. We can talk about when you're 17.
Come
but
on,
parents
the kids
hold
got to
the line.
Snap.
No, hold the line. He
they
says
need some
to
of
me,
the gram in their life.
No, he says to me, it's so formal to give someone my phone number, Mama. And I'm like,
formal?
Yeah. No, that's not like.
So
yeah, keep them off the cell phones till don't give them one.
Murphy's Law number 183.
Yeah.
That the most addictive thing in our society right now is our phone.
Absolutely.
And it's not even close. It's not even close. Yep. Beyond, I mean, alcohol, fentanyl, name it. I would challenge that our cell phones have become more addictive properties than anything else in our lives.
Yeah, and our children are products.
Yeah,
our children are
right.
products. So support Senator Blackburn's bill. We got to get that at the federal level. And then here, as parents, read that book. I would say we had 3 anxious generation bills. 2 of the 3 passed. I think that's a good start. But be bold with other parents and say, no, let's hold the line. Like be okay with not being popular with your 13-year-old. Do
you guys have, real quick, I only have about 30 more seconds, but do you have legislation that you plan on as an organization pushing in the next session?
We will. Yeah, we will.
Not announced yet. You come back and talk to us about it?
Not ready yet. Yeah, we got to keep talking about everybody.
That's a great little tease.
Yeah, great
I like
tease.
that. Yeah. And we'll find out what Alice might be doing next in terms of her political life next time.
Next time. Yeah, that sounds good.
And say now I've ensured that you won't come back for like years.
Oh, I'll come back, Matt Murphy, always.
People can find out more about chat at tnchat.org. Is
That's
that right?
right. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been long overdue. We appreciate Alice Rolley, and I appreciate you giving me an hour of not talking about Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Now go talk to the bromance. It's time. The breakup.
You're the one. By the way, Alice gets credit. She's the one that said the breakup happened during Pride Month, which is particularly important. And maybe it's just painful. So it's a little more painful.
It's extra painful.
Yeah. We'll be back in a moment. It's 53 after the hour.
All right. Well, thanks.
By the way, I want to say this now because I've gotten popped like 100 different times. I-40's probably quagged up because the vice president is in town, and I just want to let you guys know that. A lot of people out on I-40 are like, what's going on? I-40 West, it's empty, bunch of police. That is no doubt because of the vice president and the motorcade. So I just want to let everybody know that. We'll have more on that coming up, I'm sure, in the news and just after the news on Super Talk. Right now, we want to tell you about Dr. Brian McLaughlin, who has taken over for Dr. Stephen Paz, comes with the same excellent credentials. I love Dr. McLaughlin. I've always loved Dr. Paz. He's such a great guy. And he is about to embark on a well-deserved retirement after 20-plus years of helping people like you, like me, sleep better at night through the sleep apnea and TMJ solution process. It's an FDA-approved oral device. I would never have used a CPAP. Will never use a CPAP. Unless it's a life-threatening situation. But sadly, a lot of you just choose to not do it, and you don't sleep well, and you don't have the energy in the morning, and you're stopping breathing in your sleep, which is very dangerous. Dr. Brian McLaughlin has an FDA-approved oral device that goes into your mouth. It's like a mouth guard or a retainer. And it's clinically proven. It'll keep the airway open. You breathe better. You sleep better. You breathe through the night, and you are more rested and energetic in the morning. Go to TennesseeSleep.com to find out more. That's TennesseeSleep.com. And ask about Dr. Brian McLaughlin and the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. 2 locations, one in Murfreesboro and the other in Brentwood. It's the TMJ Solution Center.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And we are watching the weather for you. We are tracking the potential for severe weather today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, we're having more pressure on Mayor Freddie O'Connell over his opposition to illegal immigration enforcement operations. Also alleged obstruction, which is under federal investigation. Now, Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives, Cameron Sexton, is weighing in. Speaker Sexton posting online, asking Mayor O'Connell to rescind the executive order that calls for publicly tracking and reporting interactions with federal immigration authorities in the Nashville area. Speaker Sexton says that's putting ICE agents in danger. Elsewhere in Middle Tennessee, Channel 4's Dryden Quigley was on the scene of a home explosion and fire in a subdivision near Lynn Cove Court in Gallatin.
There's totally a gap where this house once was. It completely exploded during one of the final rounds of inspection. The fire chief is here with me and tells me, that they were walking through it in the last round and they were testing the appliances and they think that's when it exploded. One man was injured.
Yeah, he is reportedly in critical but stable condition. Several homes in the area were damaged. No danger to the public, according to police. An escalating fight in Washington over President Trump's budget bill. The world's richest man and the most powerful man trading insults and threats on social media today. President Trump threatening to end Musk's government contract and Musk saying, okay, effective immediately. He's decommissioning SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft, which is used to transport astronauts and cargo to and from the International Space Station. Musk also claiming at one point the real reason the Epstein files have not been made public is because Trump is in them. And then he posted, mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. A major decision from the Supreme Court today could impact lawsuits against employers in D.C. and nearly 24 states. ABC's Devin Dwyer is in Washington reporting the court sided with an Ohio woman alleging discrimination because she's white and straight.
The plaintiff, who was seeking to sue the Ohio Department of Youth Services, where she had worked for 15 years, brought her claims to court. They were tossed out by a federal appeals court that said she had to prove something higher because she was a white straight woman. She had to show some background circumstances in order to even get in the courthouse door. But what the Supreme Court said today is it's a level playing field for everybody under Title VII. No matter who you are, you simply have to show a plausible case of discrimination, and then you can bring your claim.
And this was a unanimous ruling that could impact dozens of other cases that are similar in D.C. and a dozen states. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right. Due to Vice President J.D. Vance's visit, there are a lot of rolling roadblocks and delays by the airport and downtown. The Vice President in town for a fundraising dinner. Also, they are not releasing the location of that fundraiser. Just expect rolling roadblocks and delays by the airport and downtown for this. Over by the airport, you got that police activity that is part of this. Briley Parkway, both north and southbound there at I-40. Then in Jolton, we have a crash over on the right shoulder. 4 vehicles are involved. That's going to be 24 westbound at the Cheatham-Davidson County line. Also a stalled vehicle, 24 westbound past Whites Creek Pike there in Jolton. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is 5:07. How epic would this be, man? Ken Weaver's back in the newsroom. News Closet B, we call it. There's Chris Webber. He's behind the glass making sure everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as humanly possible. How epic would it be if we got a call from Vice President J.D. Vance? I mean, why wouldn't he do that?
That'd be great.
Yeah, you think he might tune in?
I mean,
he could be listening right now.
I mean, he is.
I bet. Well, I would. I mean, surely J.D., the man that I know, the guy that we voted to be vice president of the United States of America, that guy, he hits the ground in a local community and he goes to where the local folks are talking, and that's us, right?
He does.
Find out what's going on the ground. Mm-hmm. Well, we're here to tell you. Number one, your boss and Elon Musk are very angry with one another. Number two, I don't know if you heard about that. Number two. We got a zebra problem in this community, Mr. Vice President, and we need help.
Yes.
Number three, give us a call and let us know who your favorite country music artist is.
What's that number?
615-737-9986. Let's do it slower, Mr. Vice President, for your handler to go ahead and get the phone out. 615-737-9986. You call us, no waiting. I'll put you in front of everybody.
You know what the trouble is? How are we going to know it's really him?
That's right.
Yeah, but, I mean, if it's a pretty good impersonation, will we care?
Good point.
All right?
Good point.
So, Mr. Vice President, give us a buzz, and we would love to hear from you. Is he here for CMA Fest, right?
No.
That's what they said.
He's here for a fundraiser.
He's going to be out at Lee Beeman's. That's what I heard.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I heard. Got Lee Beeman, good friend of the show.
Yep.
Love Lee, love Julie, love that. I mean, they're good folks. I saw them at the Tucker Carlson event, and they said hello to everybody. They said that their favorite news person in this town was named Joan Jones. But number two is Ken Weaver. Lee did tell me, he said, I love listening to y'all. That news guy. I mean, I'm not making this up. Lee Beeman.
Yeah.
He's got a couple bucks. He's got some influence.
Yeah, he
said that Ken Weaver. And he's got it going on. He didn't actually name you. He said that news guy.
That news fella.
Which is nice. That's nice, too.
Is. I appreciate it very much.
Weber didn't even get a shout-out.
That's no surprise.
you guys behind the glass. Y'all get no love. But, yeah, I guess the VP is in town for – I mean, they keep saying he's in town for CMAs.
Well, he might be.
He might. I don't know. One way or the other, anytime a president or a vice president comes to town, it is a pain in the tuchus because of traffic issues that ensue.
Especially during CMA Fest.
I mean, man. And how's the weather going for CMA Fest there, Weaver?
Well, it's apt to get lively.
Yeah? They deserve it.
Yeah, it looks like today, I mean, we're under level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, and that's very, very low. But we can't rule it out. It's going to be tomorrow and Saturday, but it's still low level. We're at level 2 out of 5 risk. Very low risk of tornadoes.
That's good. That's good.
That's real
good. To hear.
good.
Good to hear.
That's real good.
I want them to get sopping wet. I don't want them to get blown away.
No, I mean, might make things smell better down there.
Sure.
All that sweating and
we can always hope.
We don't want chairs flying off roofs, even if it is Morgan Wallen.
all that drinking and sweating down there.
What time's that country music giant Beyonce going to take the stage? I mean, right?
Well, I mean, you would think.
I mean,
yeah. Where are you?
Come on. Where you at, Beyonce? Didn't you want to?
Beyonce.
Isn't that her name? Beyonce?
Yeah.
It's like fiance.
The accent on the.
Beyonce. By the way, hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
So with all this going on with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, we're going to review it and we'll get your calls on it. 615-737-9986. We can't do anything about it. We might as well have fun with it.
Might as well.
Now, I have a strong take on this Epstein stuff, and we'll get into that in a moment. I'll get to your calls and your super text coming up. What are your thoughts? Who's in the right, who's in the wrong, whatever. The bottom line is there's a rift that is going on in real time before our very eyes. But I have personally come up with what I think is the theme song of this situation.
Okay.
Are you ready, Ken Weaver?
I'm ready.
Let's hit it. Me? I love you, Elon, but it's over.
I love you.
My little minions, they're going to come after you. Hey, I wonder if by the way, hey, liberals, are y'all good with Teslas now? Are we okay with Teslas again? Is that the way this works? Oh, yeah. Just turn that over. That's right. Little bad romance going on.
Bad romance.
Mm-hmm. Look.
That's bad bromance.
It's a bad bromance. Oh.
There it is.
A little bad bromance. I don't care what anybody says. That's a good song.
It's not bad.
I'm not afraid to say that I got 2 Lady Gaga songs on my playlist when I'm cutting the grass.
I love Lady Gaga.
I think she's very talented.
She is.
Music's not necessarily my taste, but very talented.
Very good at what she does.
Yep. Good actress, too.
Bad romance. You want to guess the other one?
Poker Face?
It's like the two biggest, right? This is probably the two. And those are the ones that, get the heart going when you're out cutting the grass. There's my playlist, well, you'll get George Jones, White Lightning.
Oh, yes.
And then like Bad Romance and then some AC/DC and then, and then some Frank Sinatra. It's we're all over the joint. And I don't know what playlists are. Like, people like subdivide.
Yeah. I don't do that.
And create. No, I just hit shuffle all. Let's go.
Shuffle all, baby.
That's exactly the way to go.
Doesn't matter what comes up.
No. We got a little bad bromance between DJT and Elon Musk, and it's gotten nastier and nastier as the day has gone on. And everybody wants to speculate on what's going on, what's not going on, what's real, what's not real.
It's wearing me out. It's flat wearing me out, man.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
So did I, Lloyd.
I forgot. He starts with smoking. And goes to drinking. And so we're now up to amphetamine.
Yep.
I forget what's next. We'll find out together. Maybe Trump is making it okay for Democrats to buy Teslas again. That might be true, Dave. I don't know. We shall see. I said this in all seriousness. And look, Donald Trump is not a perfect man. And you take all of the good, but with that, there comes some of the bad. And I would put this in that category. I am a Trump guy. I love what he's done. I love how he has upset the apple cart. I love his type of populism. And I love the good that he has done as president of the United States of America. But with that comes certain aspects of his personality that you just have to understand. And Donald Trump is the ultimate alpha male. And he expects loyalty to come one way, toward him. And when he senses disloyalty, he will shut you down and you go from friend to enemy like that. And that is what Elon Musk has experienced. So Trump throws, my fear is that this isn't just chatter. And I do believe that it's just chatter, right? But the last thing, I looked it up because Donald Trump said, well, why don't we just cut out all your government contracts? And And Elon Musk said, okay, well, we'll just shut down the Dragon space flight deal right now. Currently, hold on, I got to get back to it. Currently, what in the world? Somehow I got on what's trending. Oh, you want to know what's trending?
What?
Let's see.
Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh?
New COVID variant. Aaron Rodgers is going to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, is that official?
It looks like it.
I think so, yeah.
Bunch of alerts I've seen. He's flying there today. He's going to be there at workouts next week.
Well, good for him. And good for, look, everybody speculated on that, right? Because they felt like Mike Tomlin would have to have a plan. If you're passing on quarterbacks in the NFL, you got to have a plan, right? Well, anyway.
Got to have a quarterback.
Escaped Zebra, Tennessee. That is trending across the United States of America.
Wouldn't it be funny if it showed up down there at CMA Fest?
Just strutting down Broadway?
Yeah. It's wearing a hat, playing a guitar.
Absolutely love it. Give me some photographic evidence on the super text line of the zebra on Lower Broad. I bet we'll get some of that.
Sings a country version of Toto's Africa.
Some drunk guy with no shirt and a cowboy hat to be riding him.
Giddy up, old paint. Giddy up.
Or conversely, the zebra riding some drunk guy with no shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that would be a great nincompoop. Please let that happen.
Chuck says Trump is a narcissist. He can't take criticism. I get it. It's what I was saying is that with Trump, you take the bad with all of the good, and there's a lot of good to be said about his presidency. But sadly, no matter who you are or what you represent, loyalty really, he expects fealty. He expects loyalty. And if he perceives disloyalty, then he will lash out, and you will go from friend camp to enemy camp immediately. And sadly, that is what seems to have happened with Elon Musk. Now, on the Epstein list deal, Elon came out with a tweet or a X post in which he threw out the Epstein stuff. And this is clearly designed to get under Donald Trump's skin and to create a buzz. And a buzz it has created. Look at there. So Elon said, Trump's on the Epstein list, and that's why they won't release it. I have a difficult time believing that the liberals in Washington, D.C., if they were aware that Donald Trump has some sort of association with Jeffrey Epstein that has not already been made publicly available, that it would not have been made publicly available during the political campaign of 2024. Let me explain this to y'all. And I understand that the idea has been floated that, well, if they released his name, they would have to release everybody's name. No, they wouldn't. Now, who says that? They don't play. These people don't play by the rules. What are you kidding me?
Rules?
Rules? Rules? So, if they knew they were getting their asses whipped in 2024, it's why they dispatched of Joe Biden after he just got leveled on the debate stage. Late June of last year. So, friends, there is no question in my mind that if there was incriminating information about Donald Trump regarding Jeffrey Epstein that we don't already know. Here's what we know. We know that Trump had associations with Epstein. Most power players in the United States of America, let me give you a hot tip, had some level of association with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein made friends of the rich and powerful. Jeffrey Epstein had plenty of associations with rich and powerful people that did not have to do with underage girls, okay? Y'all need to understand that. There are plenty. Let me just explain it to you in a way that even the folks in Aniana can understand it, all right? There were plenty of people that went to P. Diddy parties that left before the baby oil came out, okay? Plenty of them. So everybody that went to a P. Diddy party was not a party to the baby oil portion of the P. Diddy party. Say that 3 times fast. Plenty of people had associations with Jeffrey Epstein that did not rise to the level of illegal behavior of a predatory nature. Plenty of them did. I believe, and we know that Trump rode on the plane. We know that there were photographs taken with him and Epstein. We know these things. And we understand that there were plenty of people that had this in their lives back in the day because Epstein was a very powerful person. And almost everyone, we were unaware of what he was doing behind the scenes. If the Democrats had access to this information, they would have used it. Now, before you say, well, Murphy, no, well that's good. What do y'all think they were trying to do over the course of 4 years? They tried to jail him in Florida. They tried to jail him in Georgia. They tried to jail him in Washington, D.C. They tried to jail him in New York City. They attempted to put him in jail for fear that he would win the 2024 election. And by the time the summer of 2024 last year rolled around, I don't know about y'all, but I'm elephantine. I remember this. They knew, right? They knew they were getting their asses kicked with Joe Biden. And they knew they had to change horses. And they didn't know what to do. And then when Kamala came on the scene and she got a little blip, a little spike, a little something, something, and then she just faded off because she's a blithering idiot too. You're telling me that they held that info? Why? Well, because they would have been exposed to. No, there's nothing that says that they would have been. They would have leaked the Trump stuff, held the rest of the stuff, and won the election if it existed. I don't believe for a moment it exists. Now, I do believe that Elon Musk, I think he's trying to get under Trump's skin, and nobody can get under Trump's skin. This is where I'm at on it. Sharon writes and says, the problem with Trump, he demands loyalty, but he doesn't always give it. No. It's what I said last hour, Sharon, and you're right. Loyalty only goes one way with our man. And I'm not even judging it. I'm just throwing it down there where we can understand it. Donald Trump expects your loyalty, and he expects you to act with a certain level of fealty to him. And if you don't, he will either dismiss you and ignore you or turn you into an enemy and try to destroy you. I want to be real clear on this, though. And I don't mind if it pisses you off. That's fine. Everybody's got elbows and everybody's got opinions. Trump is wrong on this one. And I think maybe he has his feelings hurt because Elon Musk escalated his language in the way that he did. But Elon Musk held his tongue while he was a part of the Trump administration. He held his tongue while he was allowed to be the overseer of the Department of Government Efficiency. And when he left that office after 130 days, he started speaking more forcefully about how disturbed he was about what was being described as the big, beautiful bill. And he's right to be disturbed. This is not what it's being presented to be. Is it tax cuts? Sure, and everybody can enjoy those. But it is overspending in a way that will eventually bankrupt this United States of America. And this is the best shot we've got. And Trump lashed out as a result, and it escalated today in a fashion where you might expect it to go when you're dealing with two grown men that act like 8-year-old children. I had wished that Trump had the ability just to let this one go. But apparently he does not. And nor does Musk. Your take, 615-737-9986. Would love to hear from you. I suppose we've not heard from J.D. Vance yet, the Vice President of the United States.
Sadly,
is that right?
No.
I think he's in the break room.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go check, Ken.
All right.
I'm going to go check, and I'll be back and take your calls right after this, or we'll sit down with Vice President J.D. Vance next on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. Guys, we live in a state where we get hit in a lot of different ways with power outages, right? I mean, during the summertime, a severe thunderstorm could knock your power out. During the wintertime, an ice storm could knock your power out. Every once in a while, we get one of those hurricanes that gets here quick enough where you got winds that knock the power out. And certainly, we've got tornado season to deal with. If you are concerned with your power going off, you need a home generator. And I would encourage you to look into Premier Generators with Generac. Premier Generators is right now the largest certified Generac dealer in the state of Tennessee. Premier Generators always offers an extended 10-year warranty. Their customer service is unmatched. I just got off a call 2 days ago, about an hour-long call talking to the gang at Premier Generators, and I'm so pleased that they're a brand-new sponsor of the Matt Murphy Show. And I also want you to have that level of protection in your home that you don't have to worry about the power going off. If you work from home, if you have a family member that is in need of power, perhaps oxygen, for example, you don't need to compromise with Mother Nature anymore. Own a home generator from Premier Generators, the Generac dealer of choice. Give them a call today. You can go to premiergenerators.com, but I would encourage you to phone 615-439-2992. That's 439-2992. Just give them a call and thank them for sponsoring the Matt Murphy Show and ask them about their incredible Generac generators from Premier Generators. Hello, folks. Matt Murphy here for Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega are your your one-stop shop for computer consultation here in Middle Tennessee and have been since 1998. Michael and his team at Alpha and Omega, they're not new to managed services. They're not new to IT. They're not new to cybersecurity, and they have constantly evolved because the field is constantly evolving. Let's as a business owner, obviously your time is important. Let's cut to the chase. When you have IT issues, you don't need a call center on the other side of the world or a chat bot that's AI to try to fix your problems. You need Alpha and Omega computer consultation. Local experts. These are real people that answer the phone in real time, every time. And even if you do have an IT person on staff, what happens when he or she takes vacation or a sick day? What happens with your systems? Alpha and Omega, their response time is 4 minutes. The average is over 15 minutes. Let's get with the program. Let's get with Alpha and Omega, and you can take solace and sleep better tonight that your computer issues and your computer needs are taken care of from Michael and his team. Call 615-784-0096. If you're a business owner, you need to make this call. No high-pressure sales. Just make the call or go online to ANO.net. That's ANO.net.
Former President Biden's personal doctor being summoned. We'll tell you by whom and for what coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jill. Is it not Dr. Jill? I thought it was Dr. Jill.
It's not
No?
Dr. Jill.
Dr. Jill. Remember when I was telling you the most insufferable people on planet Earth are the people with PhDs that insist you call them doctor? I forgot about that one.
She's right up there.
My goodness, how insufferable is it? Please call me doctor. I didn't tell that full story yesterday, but that might be my nincompoops in the news today. You never know. We're going to get to nincompoops in a moment. Mike, you've been holding on in Old Hickory. Bob, I see you there in Madison, and your calls as well. 615-737-9986. We're diving deep into your thoughts on what the heck's going on between Elon and Trump. That's next on Super Talk.
$5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We're under a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather today. That's going to be elevated tomorrow and Saturday. Get you the details during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Breaking news out of Washington, D.C. Fox News says former President Biden's personal doctor has been summoned as Republicans ramp up the investigation into alleged cognitive decline cover-ups. The House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer subpoenaed Dr. Kevin O'Connor after the White House previously blocked any testimony. Comer wants Dr. O'Connor to appear for a deposition on June 27th. Right now in Nashville, Tennessee Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton's asking Mayor Freddie O'Connell to rescind his executive order, which calls for publicly tracking and reporting interactions with federal immigration authorities in the Nashville area. Sexton says it puts agents in danger. And there's a huge gap between a row of homes in Gallatin where there was an explosion and fire this morning. Nearby homes damaged, too, according to Fire Chief Jeff Beeman.
We were dispatched at 10:31, a report of a house that exploded. And so you're really not sure what to expect. But as we were driving up here, you could see a large column of smoke. So we expected to see some damage. And then we arrived, we were faced with the situation that you see behind us here.
Now, at least one person was injured in that subdivision there near Lynn Cove. That person said to be in critical but stable condition. Also in Washington, the rift between President Trump and Elon Musk over Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bills evolved into accusations and threats.
Elon says Trump would not have won the election without him, saying such ingratitude. Elon is threatening to start a new political party, which is new. He is calling Trump's threat to end his government contracts and subsidies, saying, "Go ahead, make my day." He's accusing Trump of lying about whether or not Musk knew about the EV mandate coming out of the big, beautiful bill, making allegations about Trump's personal life. And then someone tweeted that Trump should be impeached. Elon retweeted it and responded, yes.
Musk says SpaceX will start decommissioning the Dragon spacecraft, in his words, immediately. So that would be a blow to American space travel to the International Space Station if that was to come to fruition. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Yeah, so remember, Vice President J.D. Vance is in town for a fundraiser, so you can expect rolling roadblocks and delays by the airport and downtown for that. Right now, we've got a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane at 24 westbound past Whites Creek Pike in Jolton. Also in Jolton, a crash on the right shoulder, 24 westbound, right there at the Cheatham-Davidson County line. Then near the airport, an accident reported, 40 eastbound right before Briley Parkway. And in Woodbine, police reporting a crash 24 westbound at I-440. And in Robertson County, Highway Patrol reporting a crash now 65 southbound at Portland, exit 121. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So it's getting hot, and the weather getting up there in temperature, it makes me think that maybe you have already gotten your maintenance done on your AC unit and you're okay. Okay, and I hope that's the case. But with Efficient Heating and Cooling and Jeff Eddy, they're here for you when you need them. They can make jiffy-quick calls when something goes wrong with your AC unit. Now, if you've already gotten maintenance, and you still have time to do this, by the way, there's plenty of summertime. I mean, summertime's not even here yet, right? You got all of June, July, August, September, hot into October. If you get a maintenance plan done, if there's any reason for them to come back out to your home due to your AC this season, they're going to waive the service fee on that call. That's what the maintenance guarantee is all about. And when it comes time, they're an Elite Pro partner with Ream. They can help you find the right unit for you. They have financing options available as well. Jeff Eddy will never charge you over $125 for a maintenance call, ever, 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 and oftentimes it's much less than that. And they're up for it on weekends and evenings, and you don't get charged overtime for that either. 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Efficient. Genesis Diamonds is taking it to a new level, friends. Hey, it's Matt Murphy, and let's talk about financing rates. You know, you go get a car financed, and you're paying X rate. You're paying 6% or whatever it might be. You get a house financed, same thing. Well, at Genesis Diamonds, they've taken finance rates because they finance with Genesis down to, wait for this now, 0. And if you want me to be more specific, 0.0. That's right. When you go to Genesis on approved credit, you finance a beautiful pendant or earrings or a gorgeous ring or a bracelet, for example. All you do is divide by 60, and that's your payment over 5 years. So a handcrafted Takori ring with a GIA certified diamond is only $100 a month. Wedding bands, color bands, fashion necklaces, just $40 a month. Pick any item, pay 0 down, and spread your payments over 5 years, even the sales tax. Friends, you don't want to miss this amazing offer. And for Dad, if Dad has thought about a Rolex, if he's wanted a Rolex, they have Rolexes. Pre-owned Rolexes right there, and they're included. Friends, luxury pre-owned Rolex watch for Father's Day. That's the home run gift of all time. Go by and see them in Green Hills and Cool Springs. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Genesis Diamonds. I got people sending me nincompoops. I got listeners sending me nincompoops now. Is that fair?
Wow, I don't think that's fair.
You don't think that's fair?
I mean, unless you're going to share them with the group, and then we can divvy them up.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So y'all don't think it's fair. Official? Y'all don't think it's fair? Well, if y'all boys want some fair, the fair comes in October. They got little balloon animals, and you can sink one of them ping pong balls in the goldfish thing. And
fair actually comes in August around here.
Does it?
For some reason.
Why in the hell does it come in August?
I don't know. I don't like it.
I should know that because I've gone to the Wilson County Fair. It's a great fair.
Yeah. Well, they don't want people catching cold.
Well, that's good for them. Have I ever told y'all my goldfish story at the fair? I was a young entrepreneur at the age of Weaver, don't make me laugh.
A young entrepreneur.
I love that. We were so good. Have I told you my fair goldfish story?
Let's hear it.
Well, hell, I want to hear that. I went to the fair with Melinda Parrish, and we rode the tilt-a-whirl, and all the vegetable soup came up.
Oh.
And so Melinda decided that she wanted to go elsewhere and do her own thing. And that's
Can't say I blame her.
And I would say that that's fair. At the fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. I begged the dude to stop, and he wouldn't. I loved Melinda, and I wanted a smoochie, and I didn't get one. I had vegetable soup from Mama, and it just, I was like, please stop. You remember the tilt-a-whirl?
Oh, yeah.
And I did, boy. I managed to get until we got off. Anyway, long story short, I made my way over to the goldfish thing, and one of my buddies bet me that I wouldn't eat a goldfish. And I told him, $5 and I'll eat a goldfish, but you have to win the goldfish. I made $25 at that goldfish pond, that little goldfish place.
Wow.
And I ate 5 goldfish.
Wow. After you had an empty stomach, I guess, at that point.
I was a little hungry.
Did you chew them or swallow them?
No. You got to leave a little water. You got to leave. Yeah, so you pour out most of that nasty water that they give it to you in the little bags.
Yeah.
Got to leave a little water in there, Weaver, and just let them go on down. And they, you know what? And all these people talk about, they swim in your stomach. No, they don't.
They don't?
No, I didn't feel any of that. I felt a little wriggling in the throat.
Man.
I don't think I'd do that now.
Yeah, I don't think you would.
Yeah, you ever seen them whenever they got stuff hanging out of their butts?
Oh, like a trail of it hanging. Yep.
Well, I know, Ken. I haven't.
Yeah.
But thank you for that thought.
That's why I never ate one.
Uh-huh. Well, I made $25.
That's really the only reason you never ate one?
I'll eat one of those. Go, hold on. What's that out of his butt?
Oh, never mind.
Well, forget I said anything. Forget I said $5 or no. Yeah, $25 at the goldfish pond. Our little thing. They don't even have that anymore, do they? I'm sure they don't.
I bet they do.
Little goldfish ponds?
Well, it was all the little goldfish were in the little bowls, and you had to throw a ping pong ball, and if you landed your ping pong ball in a bowl, you won a goldfish.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Then you carried it around the rest of the day until the oxygen exited the bag.
It's dead before you get home.
100%. 100%.
Caught a big catfish with it.
100%. And so I just cut to the chase, and I said, for $5, you can watch me eat that thing. Now, I remember I had 5 takers. Do y'all know how many people I asked about it to get 5 takers? It was like hundreds. I think that if my memory serves me correctly, the guy eventually told me I needed to leave.
Sir.
So you did it all right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where the people are winning the goldfish. What
Seems like he wouldn't care. He's making more money.
Hell, I mean, that's the way I felt about it.
Yes, sir.
I think eventually he felt like I was like a little creeper, Like a little weirdo.
Get out of here, boy. You bother me.
Oh, yes, boy, yes.
Little Dahmer eating goldfish.
Stop eating my goldfish.
Mike, hang in there. Bob, you too. And whoever's on line 3, you're going to have to listen to Nincompoops in the News.
Nincompoops in the News.
Man, I have a strong inclination, and I've got the text exchange up, that I really should nominate Dan Mandis as my Nincompoop in the News.
Uh-oh.
I'm just gonna tell y'all this, and y'all tell me. And I need to give the obligatory. Everybody loves Dan. We all love Dan.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody loves Dan. Nashville's Morning News wouldn't be the same without Dan Mandis. But Dan reached out, and we try to communicate about who he's got coming on, who I've got coming on, from a guest perspective. Yeah. And was there anything interesting on the morning news that I might need to know in the afternoon that our afternoon audience might want to know, and vice versa, and vice. So he reaches out and says, hey, is there anybody that you have on this afternoon that I might, want to, grab some audio from for in the morning?
Yeah.
And I told him Alice Rolley and the latest on Nashville and property taxes and whatnot. And he goes, I like Alice. She's cool. Maybe I'll listen to that and tell her I said hello. And I said, okay. And then he said, okay, have a good weekend. This was at 12 o'clock today. And I don't make me laugh, kid. And I said, Dan, it's Thursday. And he said, and I really do think this is making up for the fact that he thought it was Friday, and I called him out. He said, yeah, but I hate bugging you with text, so I figured I'd give you a break on Friday and just do it now.
That's very much Brother Dan Manders right there.
100%.
I think it was Dan. We texted, and Dan didn't really know how to shut it down, and so he was like, have a good weekend.
All right, very well.
And I'm like, it's Thursday. Oh, yeah, but I don't want to bother you tomorrow, so I thought I'd tell you have a good weekend today. Oh, okay.
Sure.
Very well. Moving on.
All right, Dan. So he's my one of my nominees for nincompoops in the news. You want to vote for Dan? Maybe that's an extra. But I got another one. What do you got there, Mr. Weber?
Mine comes from Washington, D.C., and no, it doesn't involve politicians. According to a police report, officers responded to the Hilton Garden Inn on New Jersey Avenue on Saturday, May 24th, for the report of a disorderly person. A caller reported that there was a person who was taking off their clothing inside the hotel.
Yes, they were.
They also said that the woman had been detained outside the hotel, was naked on a towel on the ground. Woo! They told police that the woman then ran inside the hotel and went over to the bar. She then began to throw bottles of alcohol at people while still nude. Multiple victims reported that she was throwing bottles at them while jumping back and forth over the hotel bar. According to the police, the woman said, I hate white people.
All right.
And I wish I hit all the white people. Woo! Well, officers arrived to the scene. They were told to go to the far end of the lobby of the hotel. Police say there was broken glass and property normally on top of the bar all over the floor as the suspect was sitting completely nude at a high-top table surrounded by staff. When officers asked the woman why she was naked, she reportedly said that my Lord and Savior, Michael Jackson, told me to do this.
Michael Jackson.
She then uttered, I threw something at him, while motioning at one of the victims and said, I wish I got all of them, all the white people. I'm racist as F. Police say the suspect.
Wait, hold on. I just want to. I'm imagining her saying that the real line. And I'm racist.
Oh my God.
Police say the suspect then asked them to take her to jail. So they obliged.
That's nice.
She's charged with. Let's see. She was identified as a 31-year-old lady by the name of Husani Kacho. She was placed under arrest for simple assault, destruction of property, lewd acts, unlawful entry, and disorderly conduct. She had a full afternoon.
She did, man.
You told me you were having one beer with the fellas. Why do you smell like a brewery or a distillery? Honey, you're not going to I'm telling you, naked lady. Imagine telling that story to the missus when you get home.
Good luck selling that one.
Good luck with that. Yeah. Mr. Weaver, you're nincompoop, sir.
I picture her using one hand to hop back and forth over the bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or sliding like on Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, she was naked, so she'd probably stick to the counter. Yeah, that might not have worked.
Maybe squeak.
I don't know. Maybe she's got some
been greased up.
Form of lube.
Maybe she was hairy. Maybe she didn't shave.
Can I just picture it? Can we just picture it in her mind that she's hot? Is that okay with you, kid?
I bet she wasn't.
I bet she wasn't either, but I'm just going to choose to believe. Just like when I was in my early 20s and those girls would call me for country music requests on the hotline. Every single one of them was hot as a firecracker, and I'm going to stand by that.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Weaver.
All right, this here is out of Denton, Texas. Denton police arrest nude man twice in one day. Police arrested a 36-year-old man twice Tuesday for public nudity on the courthouse, on the square, lawn, and elsewhere. Officers first dispatched to the square around 3:15 p.m. Caller reported the man took off all his clothes on the courthouse lawn. When officers arrived, the report states they located the man wearing just his boxers. Officers report he was unaware of what his name was or what day it was. Witnesses reported seeing him nude outside a restaurant on the west side of the square, so officers arrested him on suspicion of exposing his genitals in a public place. They took him to jail. He was released later that day. Then that night at 11:30, officers were dispatched to the area of Juneau Lane and Stewart Road. I don't know where that's at in Denton, but a caller said, he's naked. When officers arrived, the report states they located the same man, fully nude this time. A report states he again appeared disoriented but denied taking any medications or having any mental health problems. Officers placed him under arrest again. Family member arrived on scene and told officers they were concerned because he has been arrested for the same thing several times, dating back about 3 years.
But he doesn't have any mental health problems.
No, but he just can't keep his clothes on.
Yeah.
And he's just he's one of those guys that likes to
let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out. Yeah. Freedom. All right, here's my real one. This is from Faulkner County in Mississippi. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Tippah County in Mississippi. A woman from Tippah County has been arrested after authorities report that she spent nearly 2 weeks impersonating a pop superstar to receive free meals, rides, and other benefits.
Awesome.
Mindy Johnson, a recent arrival in Faulkner, Mississippi, who bears a strong resemblance, and I'm going to take exception with the word strong, but I'll go with resemblance, to singer Katy Perry.
What's her name again? I want to look it up.
Her name is Mindy Johnson, and they do note that it is lighting dependent as to whether or not this is the case. Now, y'all hold your thoughts on this when you get the picture, because I want to get your thoughts after the story. First appeared in Tippah County at the Muddy Creek store in Faulkner on May 19th. The Muddy Creek store. Now, she was dressed in what looked like a blue spacesuit and voluntarily told the staff that she'd come to Mississippi because during a recent space odyssey, the constellations spelled out Falkner, Faulkner, prompting her to follow them here. She said she was undercover scouting locations for a music video where she rises from a field of okra in slow motion.
A field of okra?
That is according to Jessa Gunn, a cashier at Muddy Creek store, who attended to the woman. She approached my register, placed a honey bun on the counter, and then burst into tears. She said it reminded her of a nebula that she had seen from her window in the space pod. This is maybe my favorite line in the story. She was very convincing. We spoke to 2 other citizens from Faulkner who also interacted with the imposter at Muddy Creek store. She was strange but polite, said Rosemary Dye, while filling her Bless This Mess travel mug with a gallon of creamer and a little bit of coffee. She told my granddaughter to chase her dreams and to avoid men who wear toe rings and anklets.
Good grief.
Junior Thompson added, I don't care if she was Katy Perry. She still owes me gas money for the ride I gave her to the Faulkner ballpark a couple of days ago. This story's so good.
I love it.
I don't even know if it's true or not. But there's a mugshot. I guess it is.
Yep.
She managed to eat free at 6 separate restaurants, received a complimentary hair wash at Big Jim's Auto Wash.
What?
I'm just reading this story. And allegedly slept in a recliner in the waiting area at Family Clinic of Faulkner for 2 nights, claiming that it was her, quote, designated rest nook per NASA protocol.
This is awesome.
This afternoon at 3 p.m., sheriff's deputies apprehended Johnson as she attempted to check in to the Ripley Inn. She tried to use a headshot and handwritten IOU from Capitol Records as payment for a room. The Capitol Records IOU was written on the back of a gas pump receipt.
It worked at the Holiday Inn.
Johnson told the front desk she was trying to maintain a low profile because she was just too recognizable to stay at the Jewel Motel in Ripley.
Oh, my gosh.
Deputy Dalton Yancey said she didn't resist arrest. She mentioned that she was halfway through bleaching her mustache and requested if she could finish it because she didn't want to walk out looking patchy. Johnson is now being held on multiple charges, including identity fraud and impersonating a pop star without a license. As of press time, she's not posted bail. So obviously they're having a good time with this story.
Well,
but obviously. It is real. And we've got the have you seen the mugshot?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, it'd have to be really dark. And I would have to have a lot of drinks. But I guess I can kind of see it.
I don't know, man. This woman I'm looking at looks like Katy Perry.
It's a little similarity, I would say.
I mean, it looks like one eyebrow's higher than the other.
Yeah.
But, and maybe down there in, Ripley. What is it? Ripley, Mississippi?
Ripley, Mississippi.
Dude.
Tippah County.
One of the funniest parts of this story is the names of all the businesses.
The Muddy Creek Store.
Yeah, Big Jim's Wrecker Service or something. What was Big Jim's Hotel or something?
It was, hold on, it was Big Jim's. She got her hair done at Big Jim's auto wash.
All right. I just looked at this Tippah County Tribune up.
Uh-huh.
It's a fake.
Oh.
It's a fake newspaper.
Well.
Oh,
it's
son of a
on
biscuit.
Facebook. On
I
Facebook,
wanted this to be real.
Yeah.
I
don't know who this lady is, or maybe she was arrested for impersonating Katy Perry, but yeah.
One ear is higher than the other, too.
Well, that's fine. I'll just downshift to Dan Mandis is my nincompoop. That's how we play nincompoops in the news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Vote Weaver. Vote Murphy. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Vote Weaver. Vote Weber. Vote Mandis.
There you go.
There you go. 55 after the hour on Super Talk. We'll get your calls on the saga between Musk and Trump. Don't take any of this too seriously. There's no call for it. We'll be back in a moment. All of y'all saying y'all are voting for me anyway. I'm DQ. They got to be real stories. And, this one wasn't. It was a pretty good story, though.
That was a great story.
That's great. Have you noticed how unreliable things have become these days, like my nincompoops in the news story? Somebody tells you it'll be ready at 4 o'clock. It'll be ready at 5 o'clock. It's not ready. People are tired of that stuff. Friends, if you've had unreliable vehicle repair, go to Eurofix. Eurofix turns unreliable into reliable. And at Eurofix, they have your vehicle ready when it's really ready. You don't have to stand in line and wait for it. Eurofix repairs all European vehicles, so you don't have to worry about that. And they beat dealer pricing. All the dealer's overhead is paid for by the auto repair shop. Just about all of it. You need to avoid that because they're charging you too much money. Make sure you call ahead. The loaner cars are very popular, but they offer a loaner car with every repair and a 3-year nationwide warranty. Family owned for 26 years. Call 844-EUROFIX. 844-EUROFIX or go to myEurofix.com. You know, at Premier Generac Generators, they know their craft inside and out. They'll ensure the best generator for you for your own unique needs. Here's the wonderful thing. When it comes to a home generator in your home, I mean, these things are instantaneous. They provide you with power when everybody else's power is out. You'll become the envy of the neighborhood, I promise you that. And at Premier Generac Generators, they are the largest certified Generac generator dealer in Tennessee, and they offer a 10-year warranty on all generators. Now, they don't pressure you. They just want to talk with you. And if you're looking for a consultation as to whether or not it's right for you or whatever your circumstance might be, let's make a call. Contact them today. Go to premiergenerators.com. That's P-R-E-M-I-E-R, generators.com, or call 615-439-2992. 439-2992, and tell them that Matt Murphy sent you to Premier Generac Generators.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We'll tell you about the potential for severe weather for today, tomorrow, and Saturday during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in our nation's capital, Republicans ramping up the investigation of alleged cover-ups of cognitive decline in former President Joe Biden. House Oversight Chairman James Comer subpoenaed Biden's former personal physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, for a deposition on June 27th. Right now in Nashville, more pressure on the mayor for his opposition to federal illegal immigration enforcement operations and alleged obstruction. Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives Cameron Sexton's asking Freddie O'Connell to rescind his executive order calling for the public tracking and reporting of interactions with federal immigration authorities in the Nashville area because it's putting ICE agents in danger. And Channel 4's Dryden Quigley has an update from the scene of this morning's home explosion and fire in Gallatin.
Neighbors say they heard the loud boom and looked outside. The fire chief says the house was going through a final inspection, and the inspector was testing appliances when the house exploded. The force was so big that it actually damaged two houses 2 doors down from it, buckling their walls. One neighbor actually was the one to help the inspector. She said he came to her driveway and was covered in burns and blood, but was conscious and talking. He's now in critical but stable condition in the hospital.
Right now in Washington, the rift between President Trump and Elon Musk over Musk's criticism of the big, beautiful bill has devolved into accusations and threats. Perry Russum says the world's richest man says without him, President Trump would have lost the election. Trump responding, saying Elon is just upset that he took away his EV mandate. And now Musk's SpaceX is in the mix.
Musk says that SpaceX will start decommissioning the Dragon spacecraft, in his words, immediately. Okay, this is crucial to American space travel to the International Space Station. 46 visits to the ISS, 51 completed missions in all. According to SpaceX, this Dragon spacecraft is the only spacecraft that currently is flying that can return significant amounts of cargo to Earth from the ISS. President Trump responding, saying that he doesn't mind that Elon is turning on him. He says that he wishes that it just happened months sooner.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Glencliff got a crash on the right shoulder 24 westbound past Briley Parkway South. In Jolton, a crash is blocking the left lane 24 westbound at the Cheatham-Davidson County line. Also a stalled vehicle in Jolton. TDOT says it's off on the right shoulder 24 westbound past Whites Creek Pike. In Robertson County, got a crash. Highway Patrol reporting 65 southbound near Portland. And in Smyrna, got a stalled vehicle, left shoulder block 24 westbound at Almaville Road. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, for the better part of 3 hours, I've talked and you've listened. It's time for you to talk and for me to listen. Yes, we will open up the phone lines on the Trump-Musk feud. You know, what if this is the way I look at what has happened? What if we were all traveling in a car together and Elon Musk farted? Well, that's kind of what happened. And the entire world has to smell it. Ugh. 96 million. I mean, that's one way to put it. I'm not saying it's the best way to put it. By the way, hold on a second. Let's see. I'm DQ'd, although I still maintain that Mandis is not. So Weber wins. I vote for Ken's comment about 4460 says, I want to vote for Ken's comment about Weber's story girl being hairy.
That's the only way she'd slide across that bar.
There are other ways, and I don't want to talk about it. But I think there are other ways. It involves fluid. Mandis, Weber, naked bar dancing lady, Weaver, nice. Weber, poster picture. Weaver, I think that's the lady that Murphy wins. I can't stop laughing. No. I'm DQ'd because it wasn't a real story.
By the way, that I reversed image searched her mugshot. It came back to a DUI arrest in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh. So is it Katy Perry?
No, her name is Rebecca Campbell.
Oh. Well, Rebecca has in a really, really darkly lit bar at about...
Last call?
No, I mean 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not.
Well, I'm just saying if you're going to confuse her I'm not commenting on her appearance necessarily.
I don't think you'd have to be completely done to confuse her, is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Well, down there in Ripley, Mississippi, where you don't get a haircut at Big Jim's Record Service.
Well, we don't see pop music stars down here very often. You know that. How about you sing some of that Fireworks? You got that shark with you? Remember?
Why is that one eyebrow higher than the other?
You got to work on that painting you're doing on that face. So yeah, it is a neck and neck battle between Weaver and Weber, and I think that Weber's going to win.
I think he should.
Yeah, Weber. Yeah, Weber, you're the man.
Yeah.
Weber wins today, everybody. Yay!
That's way to go, brother Chris Weber. Yes, sir.
I don't want to talk about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Lloyd, what do you have to say about the matter?
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Yeah, me too. He sniffs it up both nostrils. It falls right over. What a great... I'd forgotten about that movie.
Fantastic.
What a fabulous movie. Hey, tell us everything that's happened up until now. My favorite little mini scene is, I forget the guy's name, but it's like Johnson. It's like, Johnson, tell us everything that's happened up until now. Well, first the Earth cooled, and then the dinosaurs came, and they got all too big and fat, and they all died and turned to oil. And then the Arabs came. He just goes,
Dude, that part where Barbara Billingsley's talking to the two black guys.
I speak jive.
Pardon me, stewardess. I speak jive.
Mrs. Cleaver. Blood to want to help, blood to get in the help. Mrs. Cleaver speaking. What you talking about, Mama? I dig her rap.
Yeah.
Oh, stewardess, I speak jive. Just hang loose, blood. She gonna catch up on the rebound on the med side.
What it is, Big Mama? My mama raised no dummies. I duck her rap.
Cut me some slack, Jack. Chump don't wanna help, Chump don't get the help.
Say can't hang, say 7-Up.
Jive ass dude don't got no brains in it.
Chump don't want the help, Chump don't get the help. You know what? I'm going to start telling that to people who call for advice and then don't take it. Chump don't want to help, Chump don't get the help.
Yeah.
Stephen is on the road. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, Matt. Hey, thanks for my call, man.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, just want to, real quick, because I commented yesterday on this Trump-Musk thing. It's still new, but we all kind of are going through it, I'm just, Elon Musk, you're the richest man in the world. Good for you. You're a great innovator. You put a great team in there to, fix all the fraud and waste. And just good for you. Good for you. But I think Elon is going through the same thing that a lot of other people that have left the Trump administration, to where they expect a little more out of Trump or from Trump, and they don't get it. And because Trump has been through a lot, and he knows what he's doing. He may have made some mistakes on this bill, but it still hadn't passed. Maybe he beefed it up a little bit just to see what was going to happen. But I think Elon is really way out of his league here. And, my opinion, man, you can take your spaceships and your EV cars and kick rocks with them for all I care, because I'm worried about the United States of America.
What did you think about Elon Musk last week?
Yeah, he was good. I'm like, okay, good for you, man. You're doing good.
What?
He's spending a lot of money. He bought Twitter and he cleaned that up and he fixed that. Good for him. But still, like I say, man, why do you all of a sudden flip flop like this?
Let me ask you. I don't think he's flip flopped, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to fuss, but I want to talk about it. So,
yeah,
Elon, if I could make an argument that if Elon Musk doesn't buy Twitter, that Donald Trump is not the president of the United States.
That's hypothetical, but I
think an argument could be. That's how influential.
I'm not so sure about that. Actually, I'm not.
Okay, sure.
There's no way to really.
What about the hundreds of millions of dollars he spent in support of Donald Trump?
That's good too. But that's still nothing solid. He can say that all he wants to all day long, but there's no, nobody knows how that would have went down with or without Elon Musk.
Okay, so, but what I'm saying is, why do we have to do it this way? Why can't we appreciate and consider valuable everything that Elon Musk has done and simply accept that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have a strong disagreement about this piece of legislation and leave it at that?
Yeah, I agree with you. But, I think Elon should stick to his spaceship and his innovation.
Oh, no. Now he's supposed well, hold on, Stephen. Now he's supposed to shut up.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, Trump is methodical, man. You know this. Everybody knows this.
Trump is not always right either.
I know. I'm not saying he's right, but I'm just saying, here's one thing. There's a new Tesla at the White House, and if he, Trump, if you're listening, if you're out there, man, if you're going to give that thing away, I'll be the first taker on it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Have a good one, brother.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. I love it. I love the I love the conversation, and I do. But I 6742 says I always had a hunch that Elon was a snake in the grass. Okay, come on. let's not go crazy over this. Here is what has happened. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world and wields incredible power and is incredibly innovative in terms of the way he thinks about the world and what he's trying to do for the future of humanity. And we can appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that he recognized that the last hope for freedom of not necessarily the last hope, but a valuable and incredibly valuable avenue for freedom of information and communication and conversation in this country was the X platform, and that you could not get it from Facebook. You could not get it from other social media platforms. You just couldn't. And because of the value that Twitter at the time presented, Elon Musk bought it. He bought it overvalued. He admits that he paid $20 billion more than he should have. But he did it for the betterment of the United States of America. That hasn't changed, and it doesn't have to change. Y'all, we don't have to hate Elon Musk. And by the way, I don't hate Elon Musk at all. But even if you decide that Trump's right and Elon was absolutely wrong for the tweet he put out about Epstein, and I understand that. That's a troll job, no question. But Elon's pissed, and Trump is pissed. Two incredibly powerful people are pissed. Well, yeah, and, 6742 says the Elon Epstein comment was backhanded as hell and unnecessary. I agree. I don't disagree with that. He was trying to get under Donald Trump's skin. Look, these are two alpha males, and Elon Musk managed to run subservient to the ultimate alpha male for a while. And to his credit, he held his tongue on the bill, the spending package, until he left office, until he left the Trump administration. And then he said a few things about it. And Donald Trump didn't like what he had to say about it. And so Donald Trump threw a barb, and then Elon threw a barb, and then here we are. Escalation City. Looks like I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. But we don't have to do it in this way where we decide that Elon was always a bad guy. We can, or at least I will, leave it at this. One, I think Elon's right about the bill. 100%. I don't think Donald Trump cares about spending nearly as much as some of you think he cares about spending. Donald Trump has never, based on his actions, convinced me that he thinks that our national debt is a national security issue and a national crisis in the same fashion that I do. That doesn't mean I hate Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. I support Donald Trump. There's a segment, a subsection of Donald Trump supporters that baffle me when they suggest that because I disagree with him on a particular issue that suddenly I'm anti-Trump. I'm not anti-Trump. I'm as pro-Trump as they come, but I also think for myself. And I don't like this bill. Because you know why? Because I've read it. Have you? It's not good. And I mostly blame Congress. I don't blame the man. I blame Congress. And I applaud Donald Trump for bringing Musk on board. So here's the issue is a little bit complex, but I think I can explain it in a minute or less. So Donald Trump is interested in tax cuts. He's interested in the economy. He's interested in moving said same forward. I don't think he's that interested in the national debt. But to his credit, he knew that the people were, and so he brought someone on board to his credit that was solely invested in this effort, and that man's name was Elon Musk. And he gave Elon the opportunity, and he praised Elon for the work being done. Rightly so. But now it is in our man's nature that when he goes against somebody, he is going to pee on his territory. Donald Trump is going to pee on that which he believes is his. He's going to mark. And you get the most powerful man in the world, DJT. You get the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and a schism's created, and then this is what we get. Don't fall into this trap of Elon's a bad guy just because they went off the rails. And as far as the Epstein thing goes, Elon knew that would get under Trump's skin. if any of this were true, the Democrats would have vomited on the American people in 2024. They just would have. And for those of you saying, well, they didn't do that because they would have had to expose some of their own people. No, they wouldn't have. What are you talking about? Who said that? The Democrats have never played fair, and the media plays along with them. They wouldn't have released everything. They would have released the Trump stuff if it existed. So I don't believe it exists for a nanosecond. I just think Elon is mad. That is my take on it. What is yours? Brent is in Spring Hill. Hello, Brent.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey, Brent.
Hey, I like your original theory that they are trying to sort of distract or do a sleight of hand to get the big bill passed. Because, in the big bill, there are things that allow him to bypass all these federal judges. There are things that allow him to codify Doge's cuts. So I like your original theory that maybe this is kind of a planned thing to distract from getting the BBB passed.
I mean, no, it's a theory. I don't, I had not heard anyone else had come up with this when I came up with it.
You're the first person.
I mean,
that.
but look, I mean, is it possible that the thing that makes me disbelieve it a little bit is that things got particularly raw after the Epstein comment. And then Trump said, well, why don't you pull all your contracts? And he was like, I'll pull SpaceX. Now, an argument could be made, well, you got to get that raw to make it believable, right? So maybe, I mean, and if that is the case, then that is truly a version of 4D chess that I did not see coming. But I would say that the net effect of all of this is potentially that it makes it easier for the Triple B to pass. Whether or not they intended that, yeah.
You were the first person I ever heard that said that, and you kind of said it kind of in jest, but I was like, wait, maybe that's actually what's going down here.
What I think we have to, in real time, allow all of this to play out so that we can look back on it and figure it out. But I like the way you're thinking, Brent. And yet I just admonish that Elon does not have to be an evil, awful human being in order for us to understand what's going on here. And I'm fascinated with the amount of people that are willing to throw good people under the bus because Donald Trump has a disagreement with them. Think for yourself here. Don't just take your orders from my man. I love him, but he like I said earlier, there's only one perfect person. They nailed him to a cross. 24 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about your personal safety. Have you thought about a safe from Nashville Safe House? Well, let's back up for a moment. If you've thought about a safe, it's time to think about Nashville Safe House. They're the one and only shop that I would recommend. They have over 200 safes in their showroom. They have over 400 or thereabouts 400 safes in their warehouse. They have the right one for you, and they have as many as you can imagine and as many sizes and shapes and fire ratings and price points. So whatever you're looking for, whatever your budget might be, they've got one for you. They've got Browning and they've got Fort Knox and they've got Champion. They've got all the brands that you know and that you love, and they have something right for you. So whether you're looking for a gun safes are always sales tax free at Nashville Safe House, or you're looking for a jewelry safe or a corporate safe, let's get to Nashville Safe House. It's the one and only. Go online at NashvilleSafeHouse.com, NashvilleSafeHouse.com, or go by and see them in person. 4th Avenue South, across from City Cemetery. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Nashville Safe House.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
That's coming up in mere seconds. Well, about a minute or so. We'll get as many calls as we possibly can before we hand off to Mark Levin. So the White House has just issued, I guess, an official statement specifically on the Epstein allegations regarding Donald Trump that Elon Musk made. And it reads as follows. This is an unfortunate episode from Elon, who is unhappy with the one big beautiful bill because it does not include the policies he wanted. The president is focused on passing this historic piece of legislation and making our country great again. So that is, as they say that. I don't believe that this is the huge story that's going to resonate. The media is absolutely loving it. The media loves anything that goes against Donald Trump or is perceived to go against Donald Trump. So they're obviously, these are the same people that are lapping it up from Elon that called him a Nazi like a week ago. The same people that referred to Elon Musk as a Nazi who gave the Hitler salute are now saying Elon Musk is a truth teller. So if you want to find any enemies in this, it's the garbage people over at CNN. What a bunch of garbage human beings with no souls, no core convictions whatsoever. Elon is the devil. Elon is the hero. Elon is Jesus. Elon is Satan. It's gross. Because their obsession is in destroying Donald J. Trump. And by extension, They're excited. Let's not forget who the real enemy is in all of this. You know, we can have frustrations with Elon. We have frustrations with what he said, whatever. None of it means a hill of beans. The real enemy of the people, find those people on CNN. Don't watch that garbage. I'll watch so you don't have to. All right, Jay and Josh and James, hold on there. Every single one of you is going to get your say. I'll shut up and let you talk. It's 30 after the hour on Super Talk. Folks, I can't tell you exactly what to do when it comes to your health insurance because I don't know your particular situation. Similarly, Shane Ring, second reason I can't tell you is because I'm not an expert. But here's the deal. Shane Ring and Cover Nash, they are the experts. They're local to this community, to Brentwood, Tennessee. And they don't know your situation either because you haven't called yet. But when you make the call and sit down with Shane, you can either do it in person or via the phone. He's going to walk you through the process of figuring out exactly what you're paying for your insurance. And then he'll walk you through the entire health care market. And he's not trying to sell you anything. He's trying to find you options available to you that are less expensive than you're currently going through that provide you the same or better benefits. That is the bottom line. And Shane is such an expert, he does it time and time and time and time again. Never beholden to an insurance company, only beholden to you, his customer. It's what it's all about with Shane Ring and Cover Nash. And I want you to give Shane a call today at 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or go to covernash.com and see the Cover Nash difference. Shane Ring wants to help. He wants to get you health coverage managed by you, not by the government. And he does it every day with Cover Nash. Man, a lot of good memes coming out of this. These Elon Trump memes are beginning to overtake the Zeke the zebra memes. I've decided to go with Zeke.
Yeah, that's a fair.
Well,
fair
that's what the owner said.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think that's fairer than Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any update? I know Ken is making his way to Murfreesboro right now, but I think he's still out there, right?
I didn't hear any news today.
I did not either.
No.
I did not either, but I've been consumed with. I mean, if you, I guess we gave you a little other news. I mean, we talked to Alice Rolley about some local stuff, and I talked to Lee Reeves about a few things. But for the most part, this story between this little feud between Elon and DJT has consumed the news cycle for the last 8 hours or so. Let's talk to a few of you about it. I promised I would do so. Who is next? Let's see. James, I believe it is. Hello, James.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, I'm glad I got through. I've been pacing my living room. I actually called in yesterday, and I made a statement. But what really is bothering me right now is I'm a Republican. I'm all for everything Trump has going. But we don't know that he didn't go. We don't know who went. No one's released any files. And when Dan Bongino and Kash Patel started acting so funny, I just was thinking, like, why would they lie? And I feel like the only person they would lie to be is Trump. Now, I'm being honest, I like Trump, but would you still support him if you found out he did go? I don't think Elon would just. You got to take it. Everyone's just brushing it aside, but Elon's mad. It ain't like he called him orange. He accused the man of pedophilia. I think everyone knows deep down.
Well, I think words mean things, and I think it's pretty important.
Would you still support Trump if you found out he went in the past?
Hold on. I'll answer that question in just a second. What I'm saying is, words mean things, and you're saying that he accused Donald Trump of pedophilia. I don't think that's what Elon Musk said.
Well, I mean, we know what comes with association with Jeffrey Epstein.
No.
Maybe I went too far there,
now you're in the arena of speculation. So, I think that's dangerous.
Files means whatever that details. So I don't know exactly, but
here's a tip. So, because a couple of things you said I think are untrue. We have had information about the Jeffrey Epstein situation released to the public.
Well, Pam Bondi is in charge, another loyal Trump, but they haven't released as much.
No.
And you cannot look at Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and tell me they're not lying about something.
Hold on. So, I mean, I could tell you that. I mean, tell me I can't. But, James, listen to what I'm saying to you. The Ghislaine Maxwell case brought out a lot of the accusers, brought out the flight logs. I mean, we know that Trump was on the plane like 6 or 7 times, but that doesn't mean that Donald Trump had anything to do with the parties.
Does it mean that he doesn't? You can't just assume the best. In this case, you pretty much need to assume the worst.
No. When you assume you don't get to assume things when you're making accusations about illegal activity like this. You don't get to assume anything. Why would you?
Say everyone's saying Elon's mad.
I'm going to assume, James. I'm going to assume until you prove otherwise that you have sex with little boys. Go.
Okay. Well, I guess just come do my.
Oh, so you're admitting it now?
I guess everyone has sex with little boys.
Right. But do you see what happens when we start assuming things? That's my point. Is I use the extreme example.
You haven't worked close with me. No insider details. Have a powerful voice and know what the ramifications are of making that accusation.
So you're a Trump supporter.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And believe in Donald Trump.
Absolutely. I believe in his views, his policies. Yeah. Now, I can't say I wouldn't. I mean, I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a denier. I'm not going to say because a lot of people are going to look really crazy.
But you understand, and you have followed, and I'm going to answer the question. You have followed all this, though. You followed the arc of Trump.
Every night. I'm obsessed with it.
Okay,
I'm obsessed with it.
With that in mind, explain to me if Joe Biden's Department of Justice had this information, why they would not have used it in 2024.
They are all guilty. They are all guilty.
No, we're
it
not
would
talking.
take someone
no.
outside of that circle.
Dude, they would just release the Trump stuff. They don't have to release that. Hold on,
okay,
James. Don't stop talking and just listen. Process. Try to process what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
The Democrats don't give one crap about you or me or fairness. And you're telling me that they were willing to try to put him in jail in 4 separate states, right?
Correct.
Most Trump supporters believed that they were willing to steal the election in 2020.
I agree.
Right. So you're telling me that they would not release information about Trump and Epstein if that were in the possession of the.
I don't think they were. If they were all on the boat.
I was not finished with the sentence, James, and you started talking.
Sorry.
Well, I
just don't want you to cut me off before you answer my question. I think it's what you're trying to do.
I would never support.
And I love you guys.
I was trying to answer the question.
Go ahead. I wasn't finished, but go ahead.
It's not your show, but go ahead.
I know. No, I agree. Hey, I respect what you're doing. I'm just trying to hope you guys don't keep it. Just don't brush it off.
Don't brush what? Don't. All right. One. Who are you guys? My name is Matt Murphy. I'm one person.
But there's a side of people that you cannot say anything good about Trump. That's the Democrats. Dude, and there's a side of the Republicans that you can't say anything bad about.
Do you listen to this show?
Constantly.
Do I support the big, beautiful bill?
I about called Chris Ham one time and told him he was an undercover liberal.
That's funny. Do I support the big, beautiful bill, James?
Not at all.
I do not. That's correct. So I don't support everything that Donald Trump does.
Yeah, well, I understand.
And I believe in the man.
Do you? Okay. Well, we'll agree to. I believe in too, but I also believe that.
But so I just use the. I'm just trying. I'm asking you to use the brain. That you're leaning on one tweet made in an emotional state by Elon Musk. Because
I said this yesterday to Chris Ham before this tweet got said. I called in yesterday and I said, "Don't you think it's funny that Dan Bongino and Kaz Patel are just turned to 360?" I said, I feel like the only people that they would lie for is Trump. I called in. We had a discussion. But, I mean, it's not just that's hitting me. I mean, so much is going on, and I don't want to get into it because,
So just answer the because I'm limited on time. I got a lot of people on the phone.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to answer your question. I tried to a minute ago, but I'm going to answer it. But I'm asking you. You don't believe, as nasty and as evil as the Democrats are, you're a Trump guy. You don't believe that as nasty as the Democrats are, that they had this. So let's play this hypothetical. They had the information. They've got the evidence. Donald Trump was on Epstein Island. Donald Trump's a pedophile. They've got the evidence. And you're telling me they chose not to use it.
Well, if I rob a bank with you,
No, James. No, just yes or no. You're saying they chose not to use it.
Yes. I believe that, yes. I don't put nothing past none of these people.
So you believe the Democrats, as much as they hate Donald Trump,
this ain't the Democrats. This is Elon Musk.
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about the Democrats and the Department of Justice. Under your theory, they had this info. They had it cold that Donald Trump went to Epstein Island and did all the nasty things, and you're saying they didn't release that information and they allowed him to become president. Yeah. Why would they not release that information, James?
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know.
I don't know either, James.
I don't know. And maybe it's not, but I'm just saying for everyone just to so quickly say it ain't, that's what scares me.
What do you mean so quickly? Where have you been, man?
What?
They've been accusing Trump of this since the whole Epstein thing dropped in 2019.
I don't think Elon has any. I don't think he would have alluded to that without him knowing.
Where have you been? They've been accusing Donald Trump. The liberals have been accusing Donald Trump of this since all of this dropped.
I mean, I don't think they liberals push it too much. I mean, they're the ones who done it the most. They're the ones. Who done it.
Well,
Donald Trump wasn't a Republican running for president when he went and done this. He wasn't in office. He didn't have no loyalties, no allegiances. No, he hasn't built people's career. He hasn't stood up for people. Sometimes I feel like I've seen. I don't want to go on, but yes, sir.
Wait, when he went and did. What do you mean when he went and did?
Who knows? But I'm just saying, Elon knows something. He wouldn't have just put it out there. And when they made the statement earlier on Fox,
What do you mean? I mean, what do you mean?
Elon was mad.
Why wouldn't he just put it out there? Why wouldn't he just put it out there?
I get it, and I know you have to be objective, but I see.
So I'm just fascinated with the fact that you claim to be a Trump supporter, yet you've decided that Trump's a pedophile. I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice.
I'm decided he's a pedophile.
Dude, I can hear it. You've been arguing with me about it for 4 minutes.
This whole time he's win. I've said this whole time. I'm like, what are you going to do when you find out Trump wins? Doesn't mean I don't support men in bathrooms. Doesn't mean I don't want the immigrants.
Did every person that went to the island engage in illegal activity?
Yeah, I'm saying if we was off the golf course, y'all kick me off because I said one bad thing about Trump.
No,
y'all don't like me no
I'm
more.
not. James,
and I didn't say nothing bad.
James, shut up. Who's kicking you off of anything? James, I've allowed you to be on this show far too long. You're hurting my radio career right now, and I'm letting you talk.
I don't think so, man. You do a great job.
Would you like for me to answer your question?
Yes, sir.
If it is proven anyone on planet Earth abused an underage child sexually, I would never, ever support that person, no matter who they were, and anything that they do. It is the most egregious, disgusting act that any human being could commit against another human being, potentially and possibly outside of murder.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I respect it. Thank you very much for having me. Sorry, I'm just
Thank you. I got to go. I don't need to hear all the stuff. Josh is next. Hey, Josh.
Wow. All right. How are we, guys?
I'm great, Josh. Thank you for calling.
Is your blood pressure low enough?
Nah, I'm all good.
Okay. Well, I was going to call with something completely unrelated to all this and not political at all, and start with a funny job site story. But
all right,
before I do that, let me say, I usually pick my son up around the time of the nincompoops in the news hour, okay? And quote, my almost 4-year-old today says, "Daddy, why do the radio men always talk about naked people?" I said, "Well, buddy," I said, "you're just looking for funny stories in the news." So,
good for you. So, thank you, Josh. I needed that.
Yes, sir. So, all right. I'm in construction management in the Nashville area. Relatively recently, it's been a while back. But anyway, I'm walking up to a job site, and I noticed there is a gaggle, we'll call them, of electricians sort of gathered up around one of the exterior corners of the property. And it's sort of strange looking, and I look down, and they've got a big orange circle drawn with orange marking paint around the ground, and it's about 10 foot around, and there's probably 6 or 8 of them standing around. And what we'll call the two lead men are kneeled down on, we'll say, the north and south part of the circle, and they've got their electrical testers, their voltage meters. You've seen these things before. You hold one end in your hand, it's got a digital readout, and it's got 2 little wires. Okay, all right. So they're kneeled down on the ground, and they've got probes, their little probes, stuck into the dirt. And in the middle of the circle is what we will call a new guy. When I say a new guy, I mean a crispy new guy. He's, no dirt on the boots, very clean pants, brand new orange vest kind of thing, right?
Right.
And in his hands is an 8 or a 10-pound sledgehammer. And he is absolutely working this hammer, Matt. I mean, they have got him, and they're egging him on. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And he is swinging this thing with everything he's got. And then I hear one of them say, "Well, you getting anything?" And he looks over at his buddy, and he says, "No, I'm not getting anything right here." And he says, looks up at the kid, and he says, "Look, we've got to get seismic readings on this area before we're going to be permitted to proceed with any work." And that kid says, "You got to keep going." And he's swinging this hammer with everything.
Is this real? Is it? You saw this?
Real as a heart attack, buddy. I wish if I wasn't laughing so hard, Matt, I would have filmed it because I was dying laughing. Yes, and I mean, they had this kid. He was absolutely working this hammer. Okay,
that's so good.
And keep going, keep going, keep going, and then finally they all broke loose. they were just picking on him, right? But come to find out, when I say it was easy to recognize he was a new guy, it turns out it was his very first day on the job. He was
so
18 years old. It was his very first day on a job site ever.
I love it.
And welcome to the world of, the construction mine.
Welcome to the working world, fella. There you go, newbie. I love it. Thank you for that story, Jai. That's a great place to end it on a good, positive note. Dave and Jay, I'm sorry we didn't get to you. Love you long time. We'll do it again tomorrow. We've got a brief timeout, and then we'll catch up in just a moment. It's 53 after the hour on Super Talk. U.S. Pest provides incredible coverage and protection for all things that bug you in your home and outside on your property. Because, bugs are things that bug us, right? And you understand that this time of year, you get more and more and more bugs. Outside, you get fleas. You get ticks that can get on your animals and get inside of your home. Inside, you've got roaches. You have ants. You have potentially rodents like mice or even rats, stink bugs, and spiders. All of them common to Tennessee, and all of them threatening your home, unless you have U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest brings solid protection for you and your family every single day. You need a monthly protection service like U.S. Pest. Not like U.S. Pest, you need U.S. Pest, because they are the best. They always bring their best. USPest.com for more information. That's USPest.com. Or give them a call at 590-1260, 615-590-1260. U.S. Pest. They love the United States of America, and they hate bugs. Call them today. USPest.com. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and let's talk for a moment about the incredible experience that we just had at the Glock store. I can't get over it. I'm still in the afterglow of the big annual open house event at the Glock store where they gave away, I think it was over 100. I underestimated. I said it was in the 80s, but Dan from over at the Glock store sent me a note that said it was in excess of 100 giveaways over the course of 4 hours. What an incredible experience. I'm talking optics. I'm talking different accessories. I'm talking about Glocks themselves, all available at the Glock store. That's just their one day. They don't give back just one day. They give back every day from the Glock store. And from their perspective, they want to see you every day of the week, right? And I know you won't get in every day, but you need to get in the Glock store a little more often and train in their shooting rooms, Never Lane shooting rooms. I just want to thank all of you that stepped out to the Glock store for their huge event. Thank you so much for saying hello to us at our booth and around the store. And thank you to Lenny McGill and the rest of the crew at the Glock store for making it such a special event every year. Let's not make it a year before we see one another. I'll see you at glockstore.com or shoot270.com, or better yet, on Airlane Drive, just off of Elm Hill Pike. It's the one and only Glock store. That's going to wrap it up, folks. I've had a night. I hope you have as well. I've had a good time. Mark Levin coming up next. We'll be back for a First Amendment Freestyle Friday edition of the Matt Murphy Show, and that cranks up tomorrow at 3 p.m., like it or not. Until then, for Chris Weber, Ken Weaver, and the rest of the crew, have a wonderful evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.